Ahoy, wonders, and welcome back to the table. It's working. Elgato is doing just fine. How's everybody doing this fine week?
Doing pretty good.
Doing all right.
One of the first few times this week where we left off from last week with only maybe like an hour or two's worth of writing, I'm still prepped for what's to come.
Good.
Ooh.
Good. I'm glad. Speaking as somebody who's recently started DMing, there's a lot of prep involved. More than I anticipated. But we got this box here.
Yeah.
We got on Friday. It said specifically, open at the table. Addressed specifically to you. I hope you don't mind, just so it's on camera. We'll open it over here and...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, all right.
Let's see what we
This
got
is
for you
from
here.
Cartoon Kitsune. Oh, boy.
Oh, I see plushes.
Oh my, these are for Zito.
Oh,
Best
yeah.
boy!
Yeah!
But wait, there's more.
That is amazing.
I
Oh,
believe
Jesus.
This is, I believe this is Task, actually.
A little task, too.
Little unarmored Task boy.
Oh my god, Kobold plushes. Holy shit.
Oh, but wait. There's a hat.
Oh.
It loops around, like it has like little strings that
That's
loops
Riff's
around the ears.
hat, yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe this is
Oh,
an OC
long.
of yours.
Oh,
lady.
yes,
A long
indeed.
lady.
Holy fuck's sake.
That's a long kobold.
Good shit. Okay, hi.
Cartoon
Okay.
Kitsune, thank you so much. These are adorable.
Fuck. Okay, I don't have a lot of space. Gonna have
It's
to put
okay,
these
you're gonna have to
back
set
in the
stuff on the
box.
ground and...
Fuck.
Just wrap her around your neck like a scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Just,
I have a Lady Rainicorn like that.
just hurl yeet in a random direction and see what happens.
Yeah, there we go.
Fuck out of here.
You're so
Don't you tarnish our beautiful, beautiful mascot boy?
Hey, our mascot's fine, but this is the new freshness. Come on.
Anytime Riss visiting on screen, all the other characters should be asking, "Where's Riss?"
Where's Chris? He's right here, baby.
And not, two
Oh,
whole
he's too
episodes
top-heavy.
before somebody says, Yeldon hasn't been too talkative lately.
Aw, he's too top heavy. I can't put him on here.
It's okay, he can chill.
Right.
Still there.
Yep, just
Still a
right
There
there.
we go.
There you go,
Yeah.
buddy.
We'll
Be able
eventually
to-
loop those ear holes through his... What a day. What a
Oh
day.
shit!
A
Well,
regular
my
Kobold
mood just
Christmas.
fucking skyrocketed.
He was right ornery earlier, so it's good.
He
It's
needed
good.
a
We're
nappy,
in
but
a
we skipped
better
it.
space now. It's good for everybody.
Now we'll only kill one person in the party.
Oh, good.
Excellent. Everybody hold off on your medical checks.
All right, boys.
I'm sorry, this one's only a medical check in Colorado, Arizona, and California.
It's got to be more states than that.
I know there are. Those are just the ones that
It's like
came
the
immediately to
Maine,
mind.
That's just
Oregon.
instant. All
So
right.
last time we got introduced to the Guild of Adventurers.
Yep.
We got interrogated.
You didn't really. No.
That's how Wake feels.
Debriefed.
You got if you were interrogated, they would have told you you have to join instantly. They're just like, no, that's not cool. We're not going to put that on you. You got us the information we needed.
No, that's indoctrinated.
4,
guess.
5, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8,
They-
9,
they-
10. I
they-
still got all my fingernails.
Well,
it's fine.
here's the thing. You guys pretty much you got an okay from one of the core members, like the core founders of the Fortune Tides Adventuring Company.
Yeah,
the
who-
Volition
who-
is a side project.
Who apparently has the ability to summon a demigod to his
I mean, you didn't.
an avatar.
You never asked him how difficult that was. The guy did
It's
say
true.
he's.
To be fair,
The guy
Wake,
did say he's a revenant.
to be fair, Wake is a little bit preoccupied with the fact that he learned that one of his brothers came back from the dead.
Yep.
So he ran off rudely to go figure out what's up with that.
So the meeting was about to be finished off. Since the captain's still here, we're gonna have to just cut to them for a little bit.
No worries,
Sure.
Wake ran away.
Yes.
Pontus Ryle watches Mary May's is slowly reaching for her aquabus, and he's just waves his hand to tell her just to calm herself.
So okay. So with all of this information now out in the open, is there anything else you need from us?
As of currently, no. However, due to the fact that you were very gracious in making sure that one of ours made it back with the information that was so requested, we have no issues with seeing to it that you are added to the guild post-haste.
Well, I'll have to talk to the rest of my crew to make sure everybody is okay with that arrangement, but I don't see why there would be any problem right out of the gate.
I don't believe so either. And quite frankly, it would have been a rigorous test in many fronts if you went the actual route of joining the guild. There's a few of my other colleagues who were also old world heroes that are not as level-headed as I.
Hey, question.
Yes.
You got that picture of Lieutenant Gore out there. Is he a member? Is he in on all this secret stuff? What's his connection?
That is very, very good. Roll persuasion. Very good. No, I'm glad you saw that.
9.
So you know of Lieutenant Gore, then?
Yeah, we met him. He's a real nice fella.
I see. I believe, being that he is a brass dragon, he likes to babble.
Yeah, he's a talkative sort. Also real big when he goes all dragony. Oh boy, have you seen? Has everybody here seen that? It is so cool.
Polify kind of like raises her hand. I never saw it.
I don't know if all of present company is aware of this, Eloy. I don't know how.
No, he just said it. It's okay. I mean, if it was a secret, he blabbed, not me.
You know, when you're right, you're right.
Wait,
Can't
he has a
question that
different-
asinine logic.
You see Polify just look back and forth. Wait, he has a different form?
Eloy clams up. Wait, this is not.
I can't wait to write this on Squawker.
Well, it's no big secret, sweetheart. You just never asked, Mary May says to Polify.
Is anyone here actually a dragon? I didn't know. I didn't know you were supposed to ask.
You know what? Now that we've been informed that that's the protocol.
I'm just gonna make that standard. Hi, I'm Eloy. Are you secretly a dragon?
You know, with our luck, at least once that's going to work.
I'm just saying.
And 10 times it's going to put us in jail.
Hey, remember when I asked that door to open up? That worked out great. I'm just saying, asking first.
This is why we keep you around, Eloy. Your perspective is it's just so different from the rest.
You want the fairy to... It finishes that sentence for you. Uncanny.
Yes.
Yes, he knows of our organization, but as he's stated to you before, I'm sure countless times, he claims himself as an advisor, not a fighter. He will not waver his side with the Navy, but he will not also destroy any opportunity it is to make progress when it comes to humankind.
Okay.
That's a relief.
Yeah. So sort of a don't ask if you're a giant dragon, don't tell that you're a giant dragon type.
I still would be very aware of speaking about any ties you have to any pirates in any sense in front of him, because if you do, more than likely, if he's out in the open, he'll have to arrest you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give him a reason to do that.
That's a fair point. We don't want to put Gore in that awkward situation.
Exactly.
It
He'd
would-
probably feel real bad.
I mean, it would probably be
You just see
borderline
you see
deadly
Red's
for
mother
us,
like
but it'd
chuckle.
at least be
Oh,
uncomfortable
sweetheart,
for
that
him.
will not be embarrassing for him. He'll easily just throw you into the brig.
It's more he might not want to, and he'd just have to.
Oh, he'll feel remorse, but he'll still fulfill his duty.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We don't want to make him feel remorse.
No. It's entirely for his benefit.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at, Eloy. I want to make sure you don't feel like we're putting Gore in a bad place.
Beyond that he knows that the volition exists is as far as his extent of knowledge. What you carry, he does not know, and it
Okay.
will remain that way. Unless you see fit to tell him the truth. Pontus kind of just like grins at you just like, and you don't want to do that.
I mean, he never asked.
It's true. If he doesn't ask,
That's the rule now,
Yeah,
I
You
guess.
see Mary May just go. Just pats her
it's
head
not
with her
lying
finger.
if we don't tell him. If we never tell a lie, we just don't tell the whole truth.
Now, as you were saying before, what will require you from us? We don't feel that we need you per se, but the fact that you've actually assisted us with this entire task, we feel that we should at least divulge the information we receive to you, as it feels only right that you've come this far. you should at least know why your route was dangerous because of it.
I mean, we'd appreciate it.
Wait, there's less dangerous routes than this?
Eloy, this is not the time to
Oh
consider those options.
boy, we're there!
I honestly, this is my first trip out on the ocean. I thought this was just what it was like for everybody.
Red just like shakes her head, just like,
Vampires and horrible sea monsters and that Minotaur man.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Remember that when we got up that tower? Wild stuff. Anyway,
you found a guardian to the old kingdom then.
yes. I mean, somewhat, if that's what he's
There
called
are many
himself.
of them. They are sprinkled throughout the entire continent. They have labyrinthine knowledge of all sorts of kingdoms that have fallen.
Yes, some kingdoms that have sunken. It's quite exciting, the amount of information they probably wield. Anyway, about what we owe you.
Oh, you owe us nothing.
Good. All right. Just wanted to make sure.
Again, we would just the only thing we would ask of you is maybe we would need you when we find out this information for a job, a proposition.
It's just, I apologize if I seem too forward. We've met a lot of people in our travels, and it always seems like they come with good news. And by the way, we need something. I just
Well, I assure you, young man.
so nervous about that other boot.
I assure you, young man, this is not that case.
Good.
This is a case of thank you for your efforts. We might have more work from you, but you will be rewarded for it otherwise.
Well, I'd be happy to hear what that might entail.
Well, as far as we know, Lieutenant Gore is on his way with one of his Vorpal junks. And what that means is, roll a knowledge check.
4.
Why would he bring us garbage? Natural wonders.
First of the night, baby.
Not just me doing a pun. Eloy's actually ignorant.
Great.
That is the name of a ship, sir. That is a type of ship, a battleship.
I like when I get bad rolls, but someone else gets a 1, so they can just vocalize how wrong they are. Whereas if you hadn't got that, Ezra would just be like, "Oh yeah, of course," and just in his mind have no idea.
So, at least stay here for a few days. Speak to Lieutenant Gore. I'm certain he will give you the ship and also some compensation for your other ship.
That would be very helpful.
And I'm most certain you would like to send off your previous ship in a proper fashion.
Definitely.
Yeah, I haven't made a big deal of it, but I'm low key freaking out that we've been sailing on a corpse for a while.
Has been.
That's real morbid.
It is kind of strangely dark for our line of work.
Red just rolls her eyes at that. Well, in the meantime, you are welcome to stay here in the guild. You can have lodging, you will have food, and from then on, you can travel about the town, find any interesting points for yourself, talk to some of our adventurers, because if you do join the guild, there might be a chance they might be wanting for hire.
Yeah, we met a couple who seemed real eager.
Yeah, no, this does sound like a good opportunity for us.
That does not surprise me. This town is full to burst with adventurers looking for new work. However, if you do join the guild, we will have to unfortunately ask that if you wish to have the rest of your crew, or if it's their choice to join as well, they will have to go through the paperwork. I am certain they would like a little bit of rest after reading Red's report. I believe you all could.
Hey, other question. Speaking of folks we met who seem to be for hire, what's your lookout on Miss Gentle?
The war criminal from Barnacle Bay.
That is 2 new pieces of information. We got a lot of vague, ominous warnings, and then
Oh, I assure you, they're not vague. Everything she speaks of, all of her atrocities, all of her crimes, they're most certainly true. But out towards Barnacle Bay. Here, she is nothing but what her name speaks of to land dwellers. To ocean folk, however, that would be a different story.
I see. Well, that might cause a conflict or two somewhere in the crew.
Well,
I was
I
already
am
leaning
certain
against it.
we've already come to the conclusion with her that she is welcome to stay in the guild so long as as long as her
War crimes.
yes, well, as long as her war crimes don't hinder any employees that ask of work for her. Employers, I'm sorry. So as long as you give her, like Mary Mae's just sitting there, money talks, sweetheart. Give her some cash, she won't kill you.
That sounds fine, except I'm not looking to be the first exception to that.
Yeah.
We have a contract for that exact reason, sir.
Ah, good. It's legal to not kill you.
No, it also means that... Now, I will ask you this. I've read some disturbing things on your report. Something that seems a little bit more of a morality compass for the rest of your crew. How much have you been paying them?
Hey. Paying them. U.S. Well, they all get to keep their share of what we find. It's kind of a volunteer. We are going to get you where you need to go and give you lodging and food and.
You told me we was being paid in experience and exposure.
I mean, there's that too. Think of it as a bonus, Eloy.
Oh, fuck.
To that lovely pile of hay we've been keeping for you.
It is a real good pile of hay.
And all the Grammy food you can eat.
Well, I am sad to put that little charade of yours to end, but...
It's a startup company.
If you join the company, employees will put down how much they wish per week.
Okay. That sounds... There's a noticeable falter in Ezra's voice. Reasonable.
I'm certain Mr. Risf and Mr. Hark will be getting paid something.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, not by you. You are brand new to this. You didn't know any of this. We hold no fault to you. We just wish that if you do want to join our company, if you do wish to be an employer, that we go through the we go through the interviews with the captain, and we also we come to an agreement when it comes to pay.
Well, absolutely. If we have more resources to work with and a bigger group to work with, that
The ship you will have will be much smaller, unfortunately. I'm certain this is news that Lieutenant Gore will bring to you. However, it might be a lot more manageable.
understandable. There were quite a few hands on deck that didn't just seem to get that much action, so it does logic makes sense there that perhaps the ship might shrink a tad.
Ezra, who's Mr. Hark? Is that Mr. Onslow Green's last name?
No, he's just that's something else.
Okay.
Our DM takes a quick sip of his coffee,
Coffee. This is alcohol.
his Irish coffee.
There you go.
What tea
Hold the
bags do you
coffee.
soak in your vodka?
Lipton, Kula.
That works.
Sometimes a little bit of Jameson.
Jameson tea.
Yep, Jameson
New.
tea.
Captain Jameson T. That's the name of that drink, just so you know.
I see there's a little bit of hesitation in you. Is this not agreeable with you?
No, this is absolutely fine. It's just, when you set out all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to, be an adventurer, you don't think about the paperwork and the logistics of it all. There's always more to think about than what you.
Folks here
what you
have
initially think.
have a lot of varying degrees of talent, and they need to be compensated proper.
Absolutely.
That is why we feel that Miss Gentle has a place here. Mm-hmm. Though, where she had come from and her past, we have it written down on documentation, and if she abides by the rules, then we can abolish those crimes.
You can just do away with crimes.
Some can't be forgiven, and some follow you for the rest of your life. Hers will follow, but she seems ignorant to it.
Well, okay. Obviously, this situation with us having, room, lodging, food, you're all being awfully generous, and the idea of, hiring some of your members and paying them a fair wage, absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Excellent. I feel that you and your crew will fit here quite well.
I hope so too.
We will summon you in a few days when we translate this book. Until then, please go enjoy yourselves.
Thank you. We'll be happy to do so.
Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
Ezra does like a courteous bow and
He like nods his head. He nods his head to you too, but like you can see like it's haggling for this guy's age.
yeah. And Ezra begins to stand up to leave.
They let you go.
In case anyone stops him.
Nope. Well, the little fairy just goes, "Oh, by the way, get that goblin fellow of yours that you said needed some location information."
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll get a hold of him for sure.
And with that, Mary May opens the door for you, and you guys just walk out.
All right.
Now we cut to you.
Wake has been booking it through the halls. Turtle, monk, like rips open his shirt. This, just like looking for his brother.
So roll me a perception check.
18.
Frantic but aware.
Eyes open, on a swivel. You really know? That's a lizard.
You
Turtles are reptiles.
You stop in front of a very stout and portly human who is wearing a red bandana. He's kind of like dressed up in a striped shirt, kind of wearing suspenders, kind of like sitting there with, like twiddling a small little knife in his hand. He's got this fucking giant like black beard going from the side of his head down to his chest. He looks up at you and like his nose is like elongated and kind of hanging. He's like, oh, what? Hello?
Yeah, if Wake had a nipple, he's basically showing it to him, but he doesn't have nipples. So he's like, there's a turtle, and he has this. He's a monk.
Mate, are you blind? That's a seashell.
No, but there's a turtle man. He has this on him somewhere. He's probably a little older than me. I don't know if you can gauge that in turtle folk, but he's here somewhere. Teaches.
Roll me persuasion with disadvantage because you're garbling right now.
All right. Well, that's a 19. Let's see what's 15. Not bad.
Hey.
He's not parsing this at all. You are going too fast for this man.
Okay.
He's looking at you with a 1,000-yard stare, just like, what do you mean? What's going on? Who are you?
There's a turtle. I guess he'd be a monk around here. Teaches at maybe a, I don't know. Some
Oh, you
sort
mean
of
that place where everyone goes to do some yogi or whatever?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, there's a turtle fellow who does those kind of practices probably just out the way. But again, you kind of left and roll me a knowledge. You know what? Just roll me a knowledge check.
They gave me a brief
gave-
description of where to go.
He gave you a brief description of where to go. Yes.
General knowledge, that would be 15.
Yeah, like this poor guy kind of like tells you like just go down this street, this street. And with what Pontus told you, you're able to gauge where that is from where you are.
Thank you, tinier, more bearded
My
Pliskin.
name's Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bobskin. Runs away.
Everyone calls me the shittiest pirate.
Don't say that about yourself, you're great!
No one's ever told me that before. Let's cut back out.
Believe in your dreams! All right, Wake is just booking it full scale.
All right, so there's
Like, you know, I am late for school. I got toast in my mouth.
Yep. So you're pretty much booking it down the street. You actually see Ave Lo, Troy Hulch, and Arahati walking with Koloff with little cuffs on his hand as you're running down the street.
Hi, guys. Bye, guys.
Okay.
We just ruffle
Wake
through my
is-
big deck of possible story hooks and...
Sorry,
Goodbye, goodbye. Thanks, Nick.
Sorry, Wake has a one-track mind. His dead brother is alive.
To be fair, it has been many, many years.
And this is the first thing that ties directly into my backstory that has come up.
Free trips to the moon, trips directly to the moon, right here.
Gotta go.
Once in a lifetime attempt leaves in 5 minutes. Too bad.
Gain 10 levels in 10 minutes.
No.
Get the deck of many things. No, fuck you.
Crossover with the unexpectables, one time only.
No. Stops briefly at the deck of many things, burns it, runs.
I would love. I mean, it would be infeasible and impossible. But if like Taka was just in town and it was just like, oh look, it's him from the unexpected. No, gotta go.
Just shove him off screen.
Yeah, just he gets to show up for like a minute and a half and just gets pushed out of off camera.
No, Wake stops by. He's like, oh, hey, you're going to jail? Is that what's happening here?
You passed him.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue with that.
Sorry.
All right. You stop at what looks like there's a building that looks like it has the front part of a temple that's like probably the city block long. It thins out towards the middle into a small spiraling tower, and there are little courtyards out in the back. There are actually various degrees of monks that are walking around here, but you can clearly tell that someone is either here for a divine purpose or just a way to feel like a sort of self-meditated or spirited way of themselves. There are people who are walking back and forth who kind of like pay it no mind, or just like, oh, well, look at that. The churchgoers are out again, as they're out, like some of them are out with prayer beads, kind of just like mumbling to themselves or like saying good day to a lot of the other people about. There is let me double check here real quick. There actually is. There's a fellow sitting out here looking rather like he looks completely different from everyone else, but he's like still hanging around the monastery at this point. He's wearing a rather dapper suit. He has like a little bit of a tuft collar shirt. His suit is actually like really like bright red. This guy's like it's a male human, by the way.
Okay.
The guy's got blonde hair, kind of like really nice comb back. He's got a circlet around his head. He has a mandolin and a rapier sword slitted right next to him. But he's kind of just like sitting there talking to a couple of monks, like showing them a couple of like gemstones and items. Like, I know you chaps are into this sort of thing. Can you tell me what this is all about? Like he's trying to get an appraisal from a couple of the monks.
Does Wake recognize this person in any way, shape, or form? Is he brand new?
Actually, based on what I have down for his information, I'd like you to roll me a history check.
17.
17? You've heard tales of a human that's gone around, a human that used to be part of like the judicial system of like most of the humans' goings on, but he went out and did his own thing. Like he was like not fit to, he didn't see that justice was well fit by just doing books alone, so he took it upon himself to become a warrior for everyone else.
Vigilante.
Yep, he became a vigilante. So he once was a man who once a lawyer became somewhat of a hero in a folktale. This man kind of fits that description.
Okay, Wake. So Wake, like, unfortunately, in Wake's position, he's like, okay, neat. Like, he's just kind of like looking around, and one of the things that's really going through his mind is as he's seeing all these people walking around praying, he's like, he kind of like holds out his like staff, like his trident, and he's just like realizing exactly how different from these people he is.
There are a few people here who are wielding weapons, yes. There are actually battle-ready
Oh, no, he
folks.
just means spiritual.
Oh, spiritually? Oh, yeah, there are folks out here, like, praying. There are a couple of people out here, like, saying hello to people passing by. There are some actually offering services of mental stability or spirituality in any form. The gods come in like, one of the female elves is just like, the gods come in many various shapes, and if you feel that spirituality is not enough, we also have rigorous exercises to see if you can steel yourself as well as steel your mind and your spirit.
Look, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. That's yeah. So Wake will walk up to the. Basically, I'm assuming that blonde gentleman has gathered like a small crowd to talk to.
There's like 3 folks gathered around there. They're actually taking interest in what he's showing, and they're all like explaining to him, oh well, this belongs to this god, or this belongs to this person.
Yeah.
Like they're going down the list of like what items has in his collection and what their spiritual significance means.
All right, so Wake will just kind of walk up to this group, just because it seems to be like the largest group of people that seems to be taking interest in something. And excuse me, sorry, I'm looking for a turtle man.
The 3 of them stop. The 3 of them stop and look to you. The 3, like one's a human and 2 other ones are elves. They kind of like stop and look to you. They kind of like bow their heads in respect, like, oh, hello, greetings.
I kind of pause for a second, like, oh, right, and bow.
If you see, yes, we do know of one, we do know of a turtle you speak of. He actually, strangely enough, bears the same marking as you on your chest.
I've heard. I think that must be a relatively recent addition for him. Do you know where he is?
Yes, he's out in the back, giving combat advice to some new trainees.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. I'm Wake, by the way. I might be around every now and again.
Go in peace, brother Wake.
And also, you. Thanks. Just kind of like awkwardly waves. And
Oh no,
walks away.
they see you look like you're in a hurry, so they're just like, we're not gonna disturb this
He
storm.
he also doesn't know like go in peace. Yep.
Right back at you.
Yep.
You too. Hand finger guns. Just walks away.
Alrighty. So you go inside. There's a couple of monks. You kind of just like pass like the information, like you're looking for this person, and they point you out towards further in. They're kind of just like they're letting you stay within like the general like main lobby of the entire building. This place is grandiose. It's like at least.
So we're an interior monastery. Interesting.
Yep. Well, this is an interior monastery that leads outside.
Gotcha.
So the inner part of this monastery is like paved with painted glass and is made out of a really pretty limestone. You can actually hear people like giving off hymns or like some people are singing off hymns to the side. Some of them are kind of just like sitting in meditative positions, praying to various gods. It almost reminds you of the when back in Jahal Cove, where Father Dorn's like little alcove where there were a bunch of gods. There's a couple of people over there doing that. There's a couple of people reading off books or telling people like passages of certain gods or whatnot. And then there are those out in the back. You can see people like doing combat maneuvers, being trained to steel their bodies and their minds to all sorts of elements. Some people, like there's a dragonborn monk who's there breathing fire down upon some people and they're dodging it left and right. There's a couple of people punching some dummies that actually have some bladed weapons on them and they're easily like pushing it back with their arms. Even further down, there's one section where it's covered in what looks like rippling seawater, like it's almost like a wave pool, but it shouldn't make sense because this place looks man-made, but there are people who are actually sitting on top of the water as there is a small little island where you see a turtle feller just kind of just sitting there in a meditative position, holding out weapons, and he's kind of just like altering how he's holding a sword in his hand, and what that's doing is pushing the pool to actually sink and turn and go up and down, and the entire exercise is seeing if people can maintain their balance using their ki.
And this turtle, I'm guessing, is very familiar to Wake.
Oh yes, it looks like how you remember Sheldon Rockspine. However, what's different about him is that he looks sickly. Like you remember this man full of life. Like he was doing his meditative training with your master. He was doing his physical training. He looks like he aged 30 years.
I also remember him being impaled, so...
Yeah, there is...
He is better than I remember.
Wearing his gi, you actually do see a scarring where his shell is, so that scar where you remember the impalement is still there. But beyond that, like, he looks like his color has left him a little bit. He looks like he's aged some, but, like, It's only been like maybe a couple of years that you haven't seen him.
It's been 3 or 4, yeah.
3 or 4, but he looks like he aged 30 years. And he continues to balance the blade. He notices some people are struggling and they're dipping through the water. He kind of like stops it. He like looks up to them. He like motions his hand, just like you're letting the future dictate how you're supposed to be taking care of the situation, son. Please, focus on the now. Do not focus on the then or the when. Just find center within yourself in the now.
Wake is just trying to stay back and not be seen. He's really taking it in. He can kind of feel a lot of emotions welling in him right now.
Yep, I'm gonna roll something for him. And you're just standing out in the open?
I will roll a little bit of stealth because he's trying to like nonchalantly like watching but stay unnoticed.
Okay.
He's not doing a very good job of it. 10.
Okay. Well, this guy rolled pretty bad, so
Okay.
he's not seeing you right now. He's too worried about making sure that
Focus on his
a couple of the people that he has in here, he actually does mention that some of them don't know how to swim. So he's trying to make sure like they're at least figuring out their key, but also not getting themselves drowned. So like he's trying to like make sure that the water doesn't actually capsize over them.
Right.
After an hour or so has passed, he's finally ceased the water. Everyone else kind of stands up. Like you're watching as some of them are kind of losing their balance as they try to get up, standing on the water surface and trying not to make it ripple. He exclaims how proud he is of their progress, and he claims that they will continue. The next day, he has to move on to... this class is over. He now has to move on to defensive training in the next section. With that, everyone starts to scatter. The water... He, like, pulls up his hands, and you watch as little pillars of stone are now being made so he can walk through. He walks with a hobble, and he's holding a staff that almost reminds you of your mentors.
Yeah, the staff that I currently have.
It looks like a copy. It's a straight up copy, just made out of stone, but it looks like the same shape.
Wake sort of walks up to him as he's leaving. Is it really you?
Oh. Hail, friend. What brings you here?
Sheldon. Is it you?
You know of my name. He looks at you. He's gonna roll a knowledge check. With a nat 1, he's not seeing it.
I can't believe you're alive. Wake just leans into him and hugs him.
He doesn't shrug it off. He just like he goes. He's kind of jolted, but he's like, "Oh well, thank you very much, brother. You'll have to forgive me. I'm trying very hard to recollect who you are."
It's okay. We have a lot more time than I thought to talk now. I guess we'll start with, do you remember where you came from and how you got here?
Oh yes, I recall being in. Well, how far back are we speaking, son?
5 years.
Oh dear. He like looks down. He looks like troubled when you say that. He clearly remembers. You can see the look on his face. Well, that's when I awoke and found this on my chest. And I remember there was a corpse of another sitting next to me. I remember that our master's teachings had... Oh dear. You're not here for that secret technique, are you?
There's a lot to unpack with that, but I wasn't originally. Wake kneels down and holds up his staff.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll him for advantage. Oh yeah, he super got it. Well, I'll be. Wake, you survived.
Yeah. I got everyone to safety, and I promised them that I'd bring everyone that we lost back, and I haven't found anybody but you.
He like pats you on the head and kind of like grabs you by the shoulder and stands you up and gives you a hug.
Wake openly just starts crying.
Now, it is true we now have time. I understand these tears are of joy, but don't let it get to you, sir. You are always so full of emotion, Wake.
Good, you do remember.
Yes, it's speckled considering what has happened to me, but it is coming back to me now. I'm glad to see you're safe. And you'll be happy to know those you have saved were also brought out.
Good. I'm glad they made it. I haven't found anyone else. Only you. I've been looking for 5 years. And the only one I found I thought was dead.
Yes, it's now that I'm slowly. I am sorry that I feel so scatterbrained. It's with my new condition from that experience.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
sometimes-
laying a lot on you.
Well, no, it is something you should adhere to because it does have something to do with why I asked you for the secret. But let us find some place for rest, and you can tell me about. I'd love to hear your tales, where you've been, how you've gotten here.
Yeah. But first, I don't deserve Master's staff. You're the eldest student. You were always better than me. This deserves to be with you.
He takes the staff and looks at it. He pats you on the shoulder. If only you knew the significance of what you have just done. It pleases me, and I feel that now I can speak a true bit of my mind to someone else that was also part of my master's teachings. This brings great ease to me.
Yeah. The trident part's mine, though. I want that part back. he just kind of like tries to bring some levity in it as he like chuckles a little.
He just looks at it and he smiles. You can feel the key pulsate like from him. You can just feel it emanate from his shoulders, and you just watch as the head of the trident just pops off and he hands it to you.
Thanks. Just kind of like doesn't know where to put it. Kind of puts it in his belt haphazardly. That'll work.
I assume you have a different weapon, yes?
I mean, I have like he pulls out a knife, and I got a couple of swords that I'm not really good with. Kind of scratches his head. I mean,
I will find you a replacement, fear not.
Greatly appreciated. I'm just.
Now, I assume you have lots of questions. I can answer them as best as I can, but please, let us... I do have a schedule to keep. Let us go to the other side.
I'm sorry. He walks and talks with him.
So you're watching as he's walking by. People are kind of like waving to him, like bowing to him and everything. He's kind of just like doing the same thing. He's quite the teacher here. Like people are looking at him in high regard. There are kind of some whispers, like you actually do hear some people say some things behind him as they walk past.
Yeah,
if you want to roll a perception check to hear what they're saying, go for it.
Sure. And while they're walking, and whenever he like stops and bows to people, Wake just like and does it as well. Perception 16.
16. You're hearing people constantly you're hearing people in the background constantly just like mutter like, I can't believe he's still going that strong with how old he looks. Like his age and his physical appearance come into question with his capabilities. Like that's what you're getting. Like they're not being insulted. They're just like, I can't believe he's still going. He's been doing this since 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, one of the questions Wake asks is, so like what happened? Like how did you, survive?
I didn't. You saw me die. I'm certain of that. The last I saw was you heading towards me before my final breath was drawn.
Yeah.
But I am standing before you, and I believe that's something I should at least answer to you.
Yeah, like what happened? I mean,
Do you know what Master's true teaching was?
I know he taught about connection with the land, connection to Kelpie, and finding a way to, I don't know, find a way to use our energy with the grant. You know me, I never really picked up on that stuff very well.
He kind of like laughs and like pats you on the shoulder. Our master held a very, very, very sacred secret, one that very few in this world are ever allowed to keep. He knew of true resurrection.
What?
Indeed. Our master was one of the few people in this world outside of the confines of the Navy to ever use true resurrection.
I never would have guessed. I mean, I know that you and Theron and some of the other older students would speak a little bit about the Master's true power, but
He never really used it, and whatever power he did use, he drew from the ocean, being that this entire world is mostly made of it.
convenient for me, I guess.
Indeed. Well, what happened is that Theroden knew the Master's teachings, but didn't know how to he didn't know how to complete the ritual as it was. That was part of his training as well. Master Delphilos thought it would be wise to pass on his teachings to another. Theroden was one of them, but unfortunately, before his untimely demise, he was not taught everything. And if you do the ritual incorrectly, it comes at a high price. Instead of drawing from the ocean around you to give life to another, you give yourself.
So, Theron...
Sacrificed himself for me.
Oh. Wake just goes kind of quiet.
Yes, it's a heavy burden on myself as well. To know that I hold his life in some regard. And my memory was very scattered. He looks down at the etching of your symbol on his chest. He exclaims that the fact that he did that was he barely was able to remember a lot of things from after the experience that happened. He only has every time he's you speaking to him is giving him some clarity, but over the course of time, because of what this thing has done to him, this incomplete resurrection spell, it's addled his brain in some way that he doesn't have a lot of memory of the past. He kind of has a very, very, very mild case of short-term memory loss. Long-term, I apologize. Long-term memory loss.
It's all good.
So the fact that you're here is a catalyst that he's remembering all this. He etched your symbol into his shell as a way to say, I have to remember that this means something to me. I don't know what it is, but if I don't do something to remember this from now on, I'm going to forget it forever.
Well, I should be flattered. I traveled under your name for a bit, actually. I thought it would help me find Theron, but...
You didn't say that you were a turtle, were you?
No. I used your first name and Theron's last name. I don't know, I thought
Why
that
hide your identity? What were you doing all this time?
I wasn't really trying to... Well, there are a few places that I went that don't really look kindly on people like me. So I would pretend to be human. And by using that name, I was hoping maybe I would, I don't know, rustle a few cages and see if Theron might be out there. It was naive.
No, but it was something you did at a moment's notice. I would not fall it past you to defend yourself. Our master never said that... Our master never claimed that our jobs or our teachings can't have a little trickery now and again. Now can they?
No, but I think I've fallen a little bit further than that. I've done some pretty bad things. And...
Do tell. I'm certain... By the way you are battle-hardened, I'm certain the master told you that ending a life in the name of defense is perfectly acceptable.
I think I've done more in the sake of vengeance than in defense.
That's troubling to hear.
I have attacked people for basically owning slaves. I have killed people for such. I have tortured in anger.
That is very troubling indeed.
I get this anger.
He slaps you on the hand the moment you do that. Hand, not face.
Slap. Psst. Say,
You're doing it to yourself, you know. You're pulling yourself into this sort of despair that the water that makes you up is becoming turbulent. You can't. I'm certain you can feel it, but from my perspective, he kind of like nods to his. He doesn't nod. I'm sorry. He taps to his eyes, and you watch like some of the ki like kind of foams over his eyes, almost like a layer, like almost like he's going blind. You have a typhoon raging inside of you, and you have no one to blame but yourself in that regard.
Yeah. After everything that happened, after losing you guys, and after
Well,
I've lost so much.
well, find rejoice because you have found a piece of something. And for all this time, I'm not certain I could be so brazen as to say this, but have you not gained anything this whole time? Surely I can't be the first gain in all these years.
Wake's mind flashes to Eloy and Ezra and Risf and Nedra.
Yeah, I have. I've gained friends,
Excellent.
but the fear of losing them like I've lost everyone else, it shakes that feeling even more.
Death comes for us all. There's no way that we could ever destroy it or ever be rid of it forever.
I know.
Loss is a part of life. One must always accept it. Besides, for every loss, there's always a gain.
Sometimes it's hard to see the gain.
Grief takes hold of that, I am sure. But that's why our master's teachings are to steal that, to make ourselves find a natural balancing point.
Sheldon, I got the name of the person that attacked our village.
Do you now?
I do. And I don't know what will happen if I find this person. I'm scared that it will change me.
Then I will ask you this. Do you wish to also know the master's teaching? If you accept that as the answer is yes, they will come for you as well. They believe me dead. For all they know, the secret has died along with them.
I do. But I worry that if I do, that this person will come for my friends as well.
Then perhaps it's best we keep it a secret then.
I met the Ashdrakes.
He kind of smiles and looks
You
up.
met the Ashdrakes?
Yeah, I met I didn't meet the ones from the books, but I met their kid brother. He's real cool.
Oh,
too.
well, I mean, if you stick around long... How long are you staying in Wright?
I don't know. I kind of left the meeting oh shit. Oh, they're probably mad. Oh boy.
Well, perhaps
I
if you
think
stick
we'll be
around,
here
I
for
know
at
one
least
of
a
the...
little bit.
I know Fritz Ashdrake usually wanders
You
around
know
here.
him?
Of course I do. He comes here once in a while, handing off items.
Oh my god. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I feel
Come,
like.
let me show you my collection
yeah.
of all of his books that he's given me.
Oh my god! I have to show you my fiction. I start talking about. I show you these stories that I wrote. I mean, I get really bored. I got lonely, and
Well, let me show you the canon.
oh my god!
Okay, then we're just gonna fade out.
All right, so time has passed. You rekindle some connection with your brother. You tell him of your adventure so far. So now you pretty much have learned that your master's big deal was true resurrection. He was one of the few people who actually knew it, and he was killed for it. That's why your village was attacked.
How ironic. He could save others from dying,
I knew you'd go there.
but not himself.
Hey man, I told
The
you.
second he said he knew true resurrection and they killed him for it, I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do it.
I'll wait until after the scene.
No, yeah, good move.
You know what? That's fine because I told you before this started. I'm like, be prepared for it to be kind of schlocky.
Oh, don't worry.
Trust me, I've been watching chat, and it's been nonstop Star Wars quotes.
You guys know me.
They know what you're about.
They know my flavor.
Dark side.
All right, so you two, like, at this point, what do you two want to do? Because you're busy talking with your brother at this point.
Yeah, I'm there for at least an hour.
Ezra picked up on the urgency of Wake getting out of there, enough so that he would probably be curious to like try and figure out where he was going. I don't know if he would definitely not be booking it and running and
You picked up the same information, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing with
I'd
any
probably be
sort of
heading in that
memory.
direction, but probably not as
All right, well, not
Feverishly.
not as feverishly. So, like, an hour's passed, you finally find this place. And, again, same description, bunch of monks going around saying hello to people, like, explaining that they could steal their minds and their bodies if they so wish to. There's a bunch of folks in here that, like, there are some who look like they're just here for the monastery, but there's also some folks who are here that look like they're battle ready.
okay.
Again, this is a entire village made of nothing but adventurers. So some of the people here are ready to be put for hire if need be.
Ezra just kind of waves down like whoever the nearest group would be, and just sort of like, "Hi, excuse me. I was looking for a friend of mine. Wanted to see if you'd seen him run by. Fishman, red hair and fins, and probably a little panic-stricken."
Like the tabaxi monk just looks to you and goes, "Oh yes, there was one like that who came storming in. He seemed like the world was ending by the look of his expression."
Sounds like our guy. Could you tell me which direction he went?
Well, I know Brother Sheldon was supposed to be doing combat training, but he was occupied with this gentleman's accord. I could take you to where they are right now.
Yeah, actually, I would greatly appreciate that. Sheldon, that sounds familiar.
That's Pliskin's last name.
You're right. That's it. Small world, huh? Anyway.
So he takes you out towards the field where you see all the combat going on, the combat training. He kind of takes you to like one of the side rooms that's still underneath the archway. Kind of knocks on the door and kind of motions at you here. It's like this tabaxi male kind of monk opens the door. Brother Sheldon, you have company.
Okay, so then they would go into the.
There he is. Wake! You stormed out so quick, I thought we lost you.
Sorry. Guys, come here. I want you to meet. I'll finish the story later. It gets better. I promise. This is just the first act. Sheldon. This is Ezra. He's the captain of the Eldon, and this is Eloy. He's a bard of great renown. He scared ghosts to death.
It was real good.
I was there. I've
I
seen it.
saw it a few times, and I'm still
A
confused.
ghost whisperer.
I mean, it wasn't. Oh, yeah, no, whisper works. It's more of a song. It's musical.
I take it you're here for the. He looks to you and like points to the little badge on the side of you. I take it you're here for the college trial. You'll do fine, son. It's an honor to meet the both of you. He like bows his head down. Thank you so much for at least befriending and taking a care in some regard of one of my long lost brothers.
Wake actually seems a lot happier than you've seen him in a long while.
I was going to say. Ezra does a courteous bow. Like, well, thank you for raising my friend's spirits so much. It's been, gosh, I don't know if I've ever seen you this ecstatic.
Yeah, Wake doesn't smile on the ship very often.
Yeah, it's not every day I get to see those teeth and they're not, angry at something. So who is like how do you guys know each other? What's the story?
He looks over to you. Roll an insight check.
15.
You can see the look on his face, and like he kind of like whispers a little, like he uses his key to whisper into your mind. Keep the secret away.
Yeah. I think Wake was going to do that regardless. But
Of course, but no,
he just kind of like nods. Well, Sheldon is my brother from, my time on land after I lost my Mer family. He helped look after the village when, after it got attacked. He got wounded, but he was able to escort all of the people to safety after I left for my vendetta.
I was left gravely wounded, but luckily, with some proper healing, I was brought back.
Well, that's amazing. I'm glad to hear you pulled through. Sounds like some scary stuff you had to deal with.
Indeed, I traveled. The experience left me a little fuzzy, so as it were.
We've just been trying to catch up and remind each other of, the way things used to be.
Well, that's great. You dashed out of there in such a panic. I was worried something was wrong. It's
Frankly, I thought he was dead, but I'm very happy to be mistaken.
well, this is great. This is cause to celebrate. We should get the crew together, have some drinks or something.
It is. Do you do much?
He opens a small cupboard next to him. He's got bottles upon bottles of booze in there.
Ah, there's a party animal.
Just like Master.
How strong is your constitution, Wake?
I haven't tested it in a while on liquor.
Those monks
Do
and
you-
their angels share.
Have you tried dragon ale? Dragon whiskey.
You know what?
Oh, man!
I am down. Let's go.
I remember that drink.
He doesn't pull out a small shot. There are small shot glasses. He pulls out a chalice the size of a head.
That's about right.
Is this that stuff we had at the Pib's place in Jahal Cove?
You better believe it is.
You know what? I'm gonna sit this one out. You boys have fun.
That is modest, sir. We do have other drinks for you if you would like something shorter.
Yeah, that might be about my speed. Thank you, sir.
He gives you a very elegant glass of wine.
Oh, thank you.
I also I don't know why I didn't bring this up earlier, but I had a student of my own now, actually.
You're passing on teachings then.
Well, it started out that way. I wanted to teach her to refine her technique, but in the end, I feel like I'm learning more about my own drives when teaching her. I don't actually feel like I'm her master. I feel like I'm also a student. in a
Well,
way.
if that be the case, he says as he's about to pour the drinks down for everyone. If that is the case, are you feeling? Are you actually considering joining the Fortune Tide Adventuring Company?
They've been floating that offer everywhere since we got here. I mean,
I was gonna say, right before you left the meeting, they were very courteous to us and offered us lodging and food for our stay. And apparently Gore's on his way, and they want us to stick around for at least that.
You know Lieutenant Gore.
We've met him a couple times. He's a hell of a guy.
he
He's
choked
the best.
He choked out a blue dragon.
Yeah, he did.
It was pretty impressive.
He what?
He choked out a blue dragon.
You wouldn't believe the power of that man.
He is.
He just threw him until he was like a sparkle off in the distance.
See, the
It was
problem is
beautiful.
that in Sheldon's mind, he's thinking of Gore,
The man.
human size,
Yeah.
the man.
And Ezra is very careful to not mention any sort of transformation or anything. Just that, it was impressive.
And Wake doesn't feel the need to because he thinks that Sheldon might already know.
Okay.
I am at least actively trying to hide
Persuasion.
something.
Yours is.
Would mine be deception or persuasion?
What would you like to roll?
I'm gonna say deception.
Okay, let's roll some deception versus his insight.
Might
then.
have more bonuses in deception. And I'm gonna need them. 13.
He can sense there's something more to the story than you're putting off.
A monk's insight.
That's fair.
Well, in any case, that man is full of surprises. He hands you all your drinks.
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
All right, you two need to roll con with disadvantage. You just got to roll con.
Not looking good already. Oh, and it somehow got worse.
To old friends.
Kind
Yes.
of holds up the glass.
Yep, he does so as well.
Okay, that's a. Okay, wow. I got a 17 and a 20, so that's a 19.
I got a nat 1.
11.
It's like
my good
it's
roll
like
was a 5.
drinking fire for you.
It's a lot stronger than Master's rice wine.
Definitely hotter than I remember. Woo! You monks are a hoot.
You
I might need to. You guys got like a. You have to,
he gives you a
restroom or
he
anything.
gives you a glass of water.
Thank you so much. Oh boy. It's embarrassing. Sorry. First time meeting you. Probably think Wake's travel with a bunch of wusses, but
Wake kind of looks over at him, shrugs.
Yeah, Sheldon just goes, He like shrugs too. Well, it's not every person who could handle dragon's whiskey. It is made purely out of the breath of a dragon.
Well, I'm feeling it today. Ugh.
You should see him with a crossbow.
I knew you'd go there.
I'm just saying, you hit the mark quite a bit.
Well, if there was ever a mark, I'm looking at one.
Yep.
Whew.
Kind of rubs a little scar on his neck. Yep.
Comes from a dragon. You know what? Eloy casts suggestion on himself to stay sober. May I have a glass after all?
Why, certainly.
Thank you so much. He takes a swig.
Since you use suggestion, roll normally.
7.
Your saliva turns red, almost like lava. Like you can just see it dripping down his mouth, just like he's trying so hard to keep
Looks
it
like
in.
that's opening up the old sinuses.
Yeah, that song worked real well last time until it didn't. This time it didn't do nothing.
Master used to boil his liquor and then drink it like that because he could cool it on the way down his throat.
Ooh. That sounds like a class act.
That sounds like Master cheated.
A little.
We've had plenty of drinking games with him.
I mean, he told me never to...
He looks to you.
Right.
He slyly winks. He looks at the bottle of the fire whiskey and looks back to you.
Just kind of nods.
Like the Kronk, don't drink the water.
Don't do it.
Oh, well, this is great. But yeah, we've been given this offer for the Adventurers Guild, and we've had a couple drinks. Ezra's beginning to loosen up a little bit.
Yep.
I got to tell you guys, I don't know what to do. Like, they're...
Well, I should get back to the matter at hand if you don't mind, sir.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, I wouldn't want to
Do
keep
you want us to leave?
Yeah.
No. We didn't finish a question after we drank.
Right, of course.
It's true.
If you did join, I wouldn't mind taking this student of yours under my wing so she could learn here for a time.
Oh, wow.
That would actually probably be very good for both of us. I could
if you do
probably use a refresher as well.
And if you do stay here, we could teach you as well, or at least bring you back up to a more advanced level from where we left off last you were under our master's tutelage.
I mean, I could barely even do this by the time we left. He just kind of like lets a little fireball in his hand. Now, I don't know. I've been able to tap into it better, but I'm just
He
turns
slaps,
it into
he slaps your wrist again.
turns into mist.
You need focus. We can give you that here. He smiles and nudges you in the shoulder.
I mean, I can do this now. Wake kind of cloaks his entire body in key.
Meanwhile, there's you
Yeah,
two
I
just
was
when
gonna
the fuck do we do that?
Ezra sipping his water. And see there,
You guys probably can't even see it.
and see, here you go. Sounds like everything's coming up good, and that just part of my brain that's just sending up red flags everywhere. It just seems good. What's gonna happen? Traveling has turned Ezra semi-paranoid.
I'd imagine so.
Every gift horse has a well-examined mouth now.
You know, you raise a very good point, Ezra. On the other hand, do you think nothing bad's gonna happen if we say no? Way I figure it, whatever's gonna happen either way.
Okay.
We might as well take the free food and lodging.
Meta-wise. How does that sound to you? Sound to Ezra?
Oh,
Is he still paranoid?
that is a very good point.
But how good is it to change his falter on paranoia?
I would say Eloy bringing up, hey, bad stuff's gonna happen either side of this equation. It does suddenly make Ezra go like, that's a really good point.
Yeah, Eloy's already
May as well
passed-
be comfortable.
Yeah, Eloy's gone through cynicism all the way to fatalism.
Yeah. Ezra's basically hit a point of he's like, either way, we're gonna have to eventually leave this place and likely sail into uncertain danger. It'd be nice to get a good bed and a meal before we did that.
Well, if you join, this place would technically be your new home. You could come here as you go. You can come and go as you see fit. You can make new friends, make new allies, find new partnerships, and use this place to fund your own operations should you want.
Eloy, is there Is there a joke in your repertoire that has something to do with how this place sounds just right?
Wah-da-da-da-da-da. Nope, I'm coming up blank.
All right, good. Then I think we can do it. Was worried we'd make a gag about it.
Well, it's not my place to dot the T's and cross the I's. Mm-hmm. He kind of chuckles to himself, trying to make a dumb joke out of it.
Ezra nods, acknowledging the attempt.
Yeah. But if you already know someone who could probably get you in, or at least make some kind of recommendation, I would speak to them as soon as you can. I assume you've met one of the proprietors of the guild, yes?
Oh yeah, we actually just before he got here, we were in a big meeting with a bunch of them. So yeah, we know
A bunch of them. I mean, there are only so many people who actually are founders of the establishment here. Which one did you speak to?
I mean, maybe it was one of them. I don't know. There's this weird secret society thing.
Yeah, they were talking all about generations, and I lost track of which ones were from which. But
Frankly, I've never really been paying attention, if I were to be honest. I just knew that we were helping somebody.
suspected.
I've
neither.
just been going along, and I really want to,
Meanwhile, you watch as the ceiling rips open and there's God in the sky. No.
Anybody else see that?
See what?
No. But
Okay.
These two failed the con save, you didn't. So
Yeah, I know.
you have eyes on the inside.
Oh, shit. That's not even the one I pray to. And I barely pray.
But yeah, no, they invited us in and told us about, basically how they do things and how what we do seems to line up pretty well with how they work, how they operate, and let's bring those two hands together. And while yes, on paper and on the surface, everything sounds good. Man, ever since we got a boat, it's just been running into people who have a great offer, and then we've got this big dangerous quest that seems to just follow right after. Everything seems like it's going right.
I mean, if you want to think about it that way, we don't really have a boat now. So
That's
you
true.
Don't got to worry about that.
We are a little landlocked at
With
the
every
moment.
silver lining, there's always a cloud.
It's true, and it's just, these... I keep looking for that silver lining, and the clouds keep coming. But... he just sets his drink down,
If you wish,
reconsidering a little bit.
if you wish to have my personal opinion, son, I feel this is more of a silver lining than it is a cloud.
Definitely. That is how it's looking, and that's probably what
That's
we'll do.
how I was able to bring up our master's monastery back up to a stable sort of economy. We can make money off this. New people learn of our master's teachings. They are battle hardened, so we never have a repeat of what happened last time.
And plus, you seem to be in a place that has a lot more security than our
Indeed.
village.
What's more secure than an entire area of capable warriors?
That is true. This is a pretty safe place to hole up.
This place isn't some sort of, I don't know, undercover army, is it?
We were created from an old generation of naval members who were old world heroes. In some regard, we are, but we don't consider ourselves.
All right.
Not to mention, it seems like the Navy isn't like an entire stranger here, so, an actual army comes traipsing about every once in a while.
Indeed.
I still need to discuss it with the rest of the crew. It's sounding good to us three, but...
As long as they allow Nedra in without any problems, I'm fine.
I'm certain after some paperwork if you're Nedra, your student, I assume?
Yes.
After some paperwork, I'm certain she would have no problem receiving her own lodging and some teaching here.
Paper.
Yeah, see, I'm still...
She wouldn't do so.
Thank God.
How young is this woman?
She's only a few years younger than me, but she's never really been taught much of anything.
Proper education wasn't exactly in her past.
When we found her, she was just a feral arena combatant,
I see.
and she was,
Well,
quote-unquote, under the employ of the Fine Day Boardwalk Company. We relieved them of the employment.
I'm certain one of your revenge trips, as you called it,
That was less revenge and just more I wanted to punch this guy in the face, but yes.
slaps you in the wrist again.
Ow, God.
Oh, he didn't even eat nobody's body parts that time.
I said, okay, look,
The torture I mentioned
just
may have.
turns to you. You hear Grok's grinding as he turns his head to you.
All right,
wobbly.
the torture that I mentioned may have involved some form of, not quite cannibalism, but it was it was more like I didn't.
Very body horror.
I did not enjoy the act. I was simply doing it to terrify. You know,
He
this
takes
is
his
only
staff-
sounding
nope,
worse.
Nope, he takes his staff. Knocks you
Okay.
over the head.
Yeah, you notice that he actually has Wake's staff.
Hey, wait, whoa. You're letting someone else hold your stick? Normally you get all antsy about that.
It's it belongs with him.
Oh.
Indeed.
Also,
wait,
fuck.
I'm sorry. I never got over it.
Oh Jesus!
Okay, thank you.
I'm taking 8 hit points off for that shit.
It's fluff. You don't need to.
I'm doing it anyway.
All right.
But anime smacks.
Just kind of nudge Eloy. If I ever seem jealous of Wake's physical prowess, remind me of this moment. This is what it takes, and I don't know if I can. Nah, not a monk.
You need focus, Wake Scalebound. We can give that to you if you join the Fortune Tides company.
I'm aware of that. It is one of the reasons I came outside of this wonderful, wonderful reunion that I am in no way, shape, or form regretting.
We will discuss that later.
Thank you.
There is, as much as it seems that you deserve that in some regard,
Which I probably did. Still hurts.
indeed, but pain's not eternal.
Yep.
We still need to rejoice. Have some more drink.
That'll take the edge off the concussion.
It'll take a lot of the edge off the concussion. That's a 5.
You just fall over.
Eloy,
you fall over turning red.
No, I got some for this.
Eloy, are you you're good to walk, right?
I take a couple of steps.
You're buzzed, but you're fine.
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, cool.
Wake collapses over Eloy's donkey half. Just has like a ride.
Yay!
I always forget we can do that.
Everybody does.
You watch as Sheldon kind of just chuckles. He always was a lightweight.
Hey, thanks for boosting his spirits, and on his behalf, I'm really happy to see you're okay.
Indeed. And on my behalf, I thank you for taking care of him.
Hey, man, he's been a huge help, and well, yeah, some of his issues that he's talked about that he needs to get under wraps have maybe caused a headache or two. He's a good man, and I think that's what matters most.
I feel I can temper those.
Ezra, center your body. You're using too much weight on your left leg.
I'd appreciate it. But all right, I think we need to call it a night. We maybe celebrated a little bit harder than I anticipated. Still have a crew to talk to.
As you were. I am always here if you need guidance.
Hey, thanks.
Oh, and by the by, here, he kind of pulls out a copper staff and hands it to you when he wakes up.
Yeah, for sure. You'll love it.
When you grab it, you actually feel like there's a vortex of some ethereal power just rushing into your hand as you lift it.
Whoa. See why you guys like these things so much.
Holding the staff grants you a +2 to acrobatics.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's gonna like this a lot. Basically, tap Eloy on the shoulder, be like, all right, let's get this guy home.
Sounds good.
As you guys walk out, you hear a thunk because you had him sideways and the door frame doesn't fit 2 people.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Good punch, Nedra. Try using the left now.
I think we'll take a break right here.
Sounds good to me. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the table. All right. So,
So how we feeling about that, gentlemen?
feel
Good.
pretty good. I feel like Wake's definitely more than willing to join as soon as he wakes up from his concussion hangover.
Yeah, I'm assuming as we arrive, basically Ezra gathers the crew as he finds them to get together.
Yeah, for the most part, it's been a few hours now. People have gone and done their own stuff. Riss and Pliskin say that they have some extra lodgings if people need it, at their place. You guys can find some extra housing if need be. There's like a 4-person room per each house. So if you, like, finding a place to sleep will not be difficult. It's just getting a house right now is what you're waiting on for them to rent out. Everyone is here. They all had their own little grand adventure. They all had their rest. They're all looking around. Just you're hearing a lot more positive things than you are negative things about this place from everyone. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's Gentle and Nedra still talking.
Wake is just kind of holding a water bag on his head and cooling it with his hand.
Oh my god.
Hey, hey guys. First things first, I got some sad news for everybody. You know how Yeldon's not been too talkative lately?
Oh yeah.
He's dead. His soul went away.
You left along with Gulfer, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
You see, like, Risk just kind of like sits there, just like twiddling his fingers. I kind of pieced that together. I didn't really want to speak about it.
Yeah, so right now we have a feral mimic sitting at dock. Hopefully it's not eating anything. We should probably move our stuff, though.
Speaking of, we've also been invited to stay here at the Adventurers Guild. And just wanted to see if there were anyone who opposed that in the crew, because as of right now, just about everyone I've talked to seems pretty positive on it, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I don't want to leave anybody in the lurch. Anybody?
Well, you see, like, Onslow and Scrung are just like, of course we're staying here. We got no other place. All the inns are filled up.
No, I mean, like, join the guild.
Oh.
Make this part of our living.
I mean,
Well, what's in it for us then?
It opens, as far as I can tell, it opens up employment opportunities for you and the guild resources.
Yeah, also for you, Scrung, whether you join or not, they offered to boost up the range on your compass dealie there. Yeah.
That's right, I need to get a new compass.
Okay, so you're going to point that out to me, Toot Sweet, because I already like the sounding of this place immensely more than I did beforehand. I've seen a lot of people kind of just, like, walk up to me and tell me that they'd love to patch up my arm for some reason. Like, I've gotten way more than I feel comfortable of many of people saying that they could fix that up for me. And they're very cheerful about doing it.
I'm going to lay out how the situation sounds to me, and basically looks Onslow, Scrung, is Grammy around, more visible.
Oh, Grammy's there. She's sitting.
I thought she was tied to the ship somehow.
Oh no, she's just sitting there with a cup of tea. No, like you watch her as she like takes a sip and then eats the whole cup.
No, she's married to you and Eloy.
I really still don't understand exactly what that... Where'd you get that staff?
Oh yeah, this is for you. Sheldon gave this to me and told me to present it to you when you woke up.
All right, take it. Whoa. Talk about playing to my strengths, Jesus.
Yeah,
You
it
said
seemed
plus 2 to acrobatics?
Yep.
Jesus, that's a plus 10.
This is gonna get insane quick.
Is this also considered a magic weapon? Like, is it
Yes.
a plus 1? Okay.
Yes, it is
so it's
considered
so
a
it's
plus 1.
essentially my old staff, but gives me acrobatics now as well.
Yep.
Cool.
But Ezra basically goes, it sounds like the guild will offer us, a place to stay and food with just a constant opportunity for jobs, not only for us as a crew, but us as individuals. It seems like, this guild hires its members not only on a group basis, but just as individuals. If we're pulled off on some journey and there's some big hunting game out there, Onslow, you'll have a chance to do that even if we have other obligations.
You just watch as the small, just like the closed mouth turns into a giant toothy grin.
If we're off on some, stupid mission, Scrung, you can stay here and, drink to your heart's content or find more information on where you need to go.
I like this idea.
We can still stay here together as a group.
You can see that, like, he doesn't have a cigarette anymore. He has a giant fucking cigar that looks super good.
Somebody's been saving for a special occasion.
Yep.
I look to Pliskin and Risp. You guys, you're already part of this. You know the deal here.
Oh, yeah.
And
we wouldn't have it any other way.
And you seem incredibly satisfied and happy with it. I look to Grammy and Red. Red, I know you've got your ties to the Volition. You have your obligations. I
Wherever
can't,
the volition goes, I go. I will not be staying here.
I understand, and I can't ask you to do away with that. And I just want you to know that if this is near the end of our time together, I just want you to understand that I really appreciate all the help you've done. And
As much as I hate to say that a lot of times this was headache-inducing, it still was a fun journey, and I thank you all for your time, and I thank you all for assisting me in making sure that my mission was a success without me dying.
Do you need this water bag? I know it's helping my headache. And
She, like, holds her hand down and she just, like, puts it to your hand and just pushes it back to your head.
okay.
Grammy, this place does offer us food. You've been our chef, and a fantastic job you've done. But I know that your skills seem somewhat limitless. If you wish to stay with us, we'll be happy to have you. And I'm sure there will be plenty of things you can do around
I've been
here.
seeing people around here getting gold for their time. Grammy wants a piece of this. Grammy too wishes for bling.
Does this mean that I have to pay you for food now?
Unless you want to eat gold, son.
I mean, is there like a game of chance involved in this too? I don't.
I'm not sure.
I'm not really. Is our contract broken? I guess I don't know.
Oh no!
Oh, good.
We're still tethered for eternity.
Awesome.
The both of you!
Neat.
Everyone just
All right,
like,
as
kinda,
long
like, goes
as
pale
long
at
as
that.
that clear. So does like the food's free then, or
We'll see.
I mean, as long as I provide the ingredients, I thought that was at least part of the deal. I don't know.
Yes, that was part of the deal, yes, but...
I have altered the plan.
Yes, I am altered the
I'm altering
Damn it,
the
you got to
deal.
it before me! Fuck! Son of a bitch, Nick.
Sorry. All right.
Well,
Well,
It's starting to sound like no one has any objections.
I'll go break it to Nedra. I mean, she's.
Yeah, I mean, that is the other thing. If we can't sail on Yeldon no more, apparently Mr. Gore's coming by with a new ship for us, but it's somewhat smaller. We won't be able to all travel together as a whole big group.
Pliskin and Wrist look to each other. That seems fine, considering that since this is an entire base of adventurers, as long as we have a contract open, we can pretty much go out whenever we need to. And it also lets us just do whatever we need to push on with what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wrist was just like, that was Pliskin, and Wrist just goes, I see no downside to that. I would, if you don't mind me, I actually would like a break to figure out what has actually become of me.
We might have met somebody that might know a thing or two about that, actually.
Fucking thing is adorable.
We might have met somebody that might know a thing or two about that, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Sheldon seemed real knowledgeable about.
Well, not him.
Oh, yeah.
The other guy
Yeah.
that's very much like you.
There's someone who has the same condition as me?
Yeah, Red, you know him.
Red just looks over you just like,
Okay, I guess. Do you not know him?
I do. Red's just like, all right, you know what? Actually, I will have that ice pack. Thank you. I have a headache coming on.
Oh, okay, here, yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
about done with it.
There's someone else like me around here? Like, who?
I don't remember the name, actually. I kind of got that beat out of me.
He's had a day. We'll talk about it later.
I'm sure they'll be in contact with us at the very least. It seems they seem to have an interest in
Hello, it's me.
Kramer applause.
Wait, are you secretly a tabaxi illusionist?
I certainly hope so. That would be amazing.
You know,
Okay, he's
that
goofing.
would tie this whole thing together.
That's what happened last time.
Everyone else in the entire room kind of just like look up. They're just like, some people like hold up their drinks like, hey, it's Gore.
Norm!
Yeah, like, Norm. There's a couple of people.
What's going on here?
A lot of people who look like they're like prim and proper. Like there's a couple of folks in here who look like they're proper sailors, kind of like stand at attention and just like salute him. And they're not like doing it like they have to, but like they're like, oh hey, it's Gore. Like
Yeah.
Gore looks like he's a friendly face around
We
here.
respect you.
Yep. Ah, there's the crew I was looking for. Hello, friends. It's been a while.
Lieutenant Gore! Ezra stands up to shake his hand.
He hugs you.
Okay. Always that big grip of yours.
Me next.
Picks you up.
Yay! Spin me.
You got hooves. That might be dangerous.
Yeah, that might be a little dangerous.
Okay, later, outside.
Sure, why not?
Yay!
How are you today, Lieutenant?
Oh, I'm doing just dandy. Slaps you on the back of the shoulder.
Falls to the ground.
Nursing a bit of a hangover.
Oh dear, looks like he partied a little too much when he got to the mainland. I get that sometimes.
It happens.
You know, we all need to have a little bit of a taste of some good drink when we go shore leave.
We had dragon whiskey. It turns out it's made from real dragon's breath.
Speaking of dragons, I hear you boys found a new one.
Yeah, Miss Woe.
Yeah. How is she doing, by the way? We left her in the care of Avelo. I hope everything's all right.
Oh, we've taken care of that. She's off on a small island just a little bit off to the coast. She's having a little bit of a time to herself. I spoken to her, told her some comforting words, given her some food, some drink, and I've taken into consideration of her plight. She's unfortunately got a bad case of the blotch.
Yeah, it looked like something had happened to her eyes. Wanted to make sure that, she didn't get, kind of looks around, the same treatment the last dragon you, introduced in our company with.
No.
Because she's nothing like that fella.
Oh, absolutely not. She's much more polite than that intolerable little turd we saw before in the Unwitnessed Kingdom.
Couldn't agree more.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. She's absolutely adorable. I wouldn't mind adding her to the fold if she wished to actually stay here along with the Navy, but that is not our choice as of right now. We've only just learned of her story, and it appears she has another family looking around for her, and given her condition, I'm quite surprised they didn't kill her on first sight.
Wow.
Is that something they do?
Indeed. She's far too sickly. More than likely that they ushered her out before they killed her, which is why they probably traveled this way.
Is there anything that can be done for her? For the eyes?
Sadly not. That's hereditary. Once you're born with it, it's seldom hard to heal.
Let's
We
say
could probably try to correct it, but at the same time, it probably won't do much good at this point. The poor girl is eyeless at this point.
Could you train like a monkey or something to like?
Oh, you God, you! Pats you on the shoulder, you fall over.
In other less happy news, we've also gained some disturbing knowledge about our ship.
Oh yes, the mimic ship.
Yes.
Avelo told me all about that and how your ship almost tried to eat a freighter that came into port just a few hours ago.
Did it now?
We should probably get our stuff off of it quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that word tried. That makes it sound like didn't succeed.
Yes, I stopped it.
Oh, thank you so much, sir.
I had to slap its mouth shut.
Oh, that's sad. Necessary, I'm sure, but sad. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh
real-
no, it's quite all right. Actually, that's why I'm here to propose a proposition to you folks.
And what would that be?
Wake kind of peels himself off the ground.
Well, you see, we noticed that ship is rather large, and I'm sure you won't want to lose a bountiful ship like that. We can't compensate you with a larger vessel of the same size. That's more for the Navy.
Understood.
However, we can offer you a junk and some compensation.
I already
In the
have a
form
lot
of this! He throws a bag of money at you. It's made of gold bars.
A bag of money made of gold
It's
bars.
no. It's make inside
Gotcha,
is all
gotcha.
gold bars. That's 10 grand for you boys.
That can buy a lot of junk.
Oh man. We gladly accept your generosity, Lieutenant. That's thank you so much.
That's excellent. Oh, by the way, I've heard through the grapevine that you might be thinking about joining this little operation.
Well, they've made a
They-
hell of an offer. It'd be
they-
really hard to turn down.
Yeah, it's
I saw
kinda-
your picture on the wall in there. I got him to make me a copy.
Oh dear, I look fat in that picture.
No.
You look amazing.
Ooh, it's that technology of theirs, that new camera stuff. It's interesting, but it looks like it adds 10 pounds, don't you think?
I'm
confused. The last time we saw you, you seemed pretty upset about, any form of technology. This stuff is okay, though?
Oh yes, we have it sanctioned, dear boy. You see, it goes through a process. Once it goes through the Navy's inspection, we let it out to the public.
Oh, interesting. So once the Navy uses it and finds a way to make it work for them, then it's fine for everyone else?
Indeed.
Ah.
You know, they have to make sure it's safe and make
We
sure...
don't want a second onrush now, don't we?
Exactly. It's in the people's best interest, as we're
Yeah.
trying to sound as
Indeed.
pro-Navy as possible
Yep,
in Gore's company.
Yep, and Gore's just like, indeed, this man gets it.
Thank you.
That's why I like you, Captain.
You flatter me, Lieutenant.
You.
So this is like this is just what the Eldon is now, huh? Like, is the Navy going to take it to study it, or is it just?
Oh
going to-
no, son. It's far too dangerous. We can't tame this thing. It's large. It would devour docks if given the chance. We need to destroy it.
Would you at least mind if we did the honors in that respect?
I would be disrespectful to not.
Thank you. That will mean a lot to us.
You just while you're here in Wright, we are going to be stationed here in Wright for quite some time ourselves. A little bit of shore leave. The boys need a little bit of a break.
Don't we all?
We're on a bit of a pit stop before we go to visit the calls. So
Oh, excellent. We might be making a trip there as well.
That'd be great.
But of
be
course, we
excellent.
have to go to South Zealous first. We do a little bit of business, talk back to the admirals and whatnot. They get really antsy when you don't answer to them quite properly.
That sounds about right.
Oh, speaking of,
Yes.
was it your interest that you wished to go to South Zealous?
Yeah. I was hoping to eventually get a trip out there. There was some things and some people I wanted to see that way.
Well, I believe if you joined this little escapades here, it'll actually get you inside much faster.
Well, does sound nice.
However, of course, paperwork will be involved. You'll need some time. Actually, run a couple of jobs here and there to at least prove that you want to get inside Zealous. I could put in a good word for you. I mean, I could get you inside North Zealous if given the chance, but that's out of my jurisdiction when it comes to the fortune tides companies say.
I understand. Well, so far we seem to be making a good impression, and they've made a great offer for us. So it's very likely you'll see us working together soon.
Splendid!
But yeah, anyway, as far as our ship is concerned, we'll do our best to do what needs to be done as soon as we can.
Indeed. Well, we'll let you collect whatever else you need off your ship, and then when the time is right, please let me know, and we'll get the preparations set for you all so you can have a respectable send-off to your ship.
Definitely, greatly appreciate
But do it quickly. I don't like that thing sitting in the water.
You know, it makes me nervous every minute we let it stay there.
Good. He looks at you with a stern look, just like, good.
I was kind of expecting it should.
Well, it is too dangerous for us to keep alive, so. But yeah, honestly, I've been meaning to ask. Your pictures on the wall. What? How well do you know the Adventurers Guild? How involved have you been?
Oh, I was one of their first joins, son.
Wow.
Indeed. You see, us brass dragons really like to gab with the locals and about.
Do you have any brothers or sisters out
Oh
there?
no, I'm the only one. As far as I know, I'm the only brass dragon who lives out here.
Wow. Does it ever get lonely?
Of course it does. But of course, I could just simply fly off to any continent I wish if I so choose. But my
true.
duty keeps me here, and I love to watch how all you cute little mortals running around and doing all kinds of silly things.
You know, I did
It's
hear.
enjoyable.
I did hear a rumor about a. Forgive me if I get the name wrong, but a place called Dragon Rock. Is that where your people come from, or is that
Dragon
just a
Rock?
certain?
Oh, you mean the continent known as Dragon?
I guess that is how the name might translate.
All right.
Indeed. That's actually where I was born.
Oh.
This is just like a whole bunch of
Indeed, it's a whole entire continent of nothing but dragons.
who. Was it your people that named the continent, or was that just sailors?
I assume it was the sailors.
That makes sense. It seems like something that they would just, hey, dragon.
Well, you know the saying, "Here be dragon."
I
There, in fact,
have
the
heard
dragon.
that. I know it now. I don't run into many in my.
It's an old sailor phrase. Don't worry about
Okay.
Also, we've run into 3 of them now. I think
I feel like we run into more than
More than most, apparently.
Yeah.
certainly talk to more than most. Most people, I feel like it's like, oh god, it's a dragon. I'm gonna get out of here.
Indeed, most of the dragons that usually come here are either have conquest in mind, which the Navy swiftly takes care of.
So
You know?
we've noticed.
Indeed. I didn't wish to kill the boy. I wish to just have him go away.
Yeah, it seems
I
you
would
did
be
a fine job.
I would be remorse to bloody my hands and those of my own kin. That's barbaric.
Absolutely.
But if the need arises, I will do so.
Because you're a noble man of duty, and you do what needs to be done, Gore. That's what I like about you.
I hope the need never arises, sir.
Neither do I, son. Neither do I.
That would be a sad day.
Well, if you don't mind, he like sits down in the chair, and anyone who's sitting on the couch pops up and floats back down. I'd like a drink too. On the house, your best stuff.
Ooh.
I'm nursing a bit of a hangover and other wounds.
An extra large water for this man.
Thank you.
With that, you actually hear a giant bell ring out throughout the entire like building. Change time! All right, boys and girls, it's change time! Everyone in the entire facility is just like, oh boy, it's time for new stuff! Who put their names up? Like I put my name up, I put my name up, who's got the first pick? Who's got the first pick? Like everyone's like standing up and going over to a giant board that looks like it has a flip turn system. So like the lettering changes. It almost looks like how a tram system has like this stop coming in next. Yep, so everyone kind of like stands up. Even Risp and Pliskin kind of stand up and go, oh man, that's actually kind of exciting. Let's see who's up next.
What's this about?
Yeah.
Oh, they're setting up a new roster for people who want to take on new jobs.
Oh. So this is kind of like the new recruit kind of area or something? Or,
At least for the first block, yeah.
Nice.
It normally takes a couple of days for the blocks to rotate.
Okay.
With that, the papers I showed you, go ahead and flip them. These are the names that appear.
Boat swim.
Untitled.
All right, so you guys stand before. Do you guys watch or do you go up to it?
Ezra would stand up to get a closer look.
Wake is standing back.
Alrighty.
He doesn't want to like crowd everybody that's
Yeah, he wouldn't be getting
that
in
would
people's
actively
way.
need this information.
He wouldn't be getting in people's way who clearly know what they're doing, but he'll be like close enough to be able to tell what's happening.
All right, the list goes off as follows. For the position of a boatswain, Doc Ramsfang, male orc, Jillian Harvest, female elf Eldrin, and Raleigh, male lizardfolk Komodo dragon. For the position of helmsman, Umlaut Fairfound, male human, Magic Bill Wilhelm, male Arakakra, hooded Merganser duck.
Ooh, Duckman.
For the job of navigator, Charlotte Jalise, female sea elf, Pavlos of Venosiclaris, male minotaur, Poliphi, female laughing gull Arakakra. For the job of cannoneer, Maldo, male kobold redscale, Mr. Large, male bugbear, Shar Kowalski Venaris, redscale dragonborn. For the job of surgeon, Vars Matilis, male gnome, rock gnome. Frida Gazamar, female Shadadar Kai, which is a gray elf. For the position of quartermaster master is Shar Kowalski Venaris again, Pavlos again, and Mr. Large again. For the position of cook, Frank Motion,
Yeah.
male half-orc, and Soup Kitchen the Warforged. For the position of arcanist, gentle, female merfolk, Nudibranch. Everyone in the entire audience kind of just goes into a hush when that shows up. This is all like flipping down, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
For another
Family
position of
Feud style.
Yep. For another position of arcanist, Magic Bill Wilhelm again, and for your guys' surprise, Koloff Hibbelson,
Hey.
male merfolk sunfish, and for the position of bard, Montgomery Bout, male human.
So just kind of like nudge, like Pliskin and Risp. So these are just the people who I guess are currently jobless but are available for these positions.
Yep, this is the first block.
Okay.
We didn't sign up for the next block. We kind of wanted a break,
No, yeah, absolutely.
but
So
he like points out to like all the lists. if you guys are looking to fill in a crew, then if you want to keep going over to Eberkal, start looking into these boys. They're actually pretty good.
So, for the sake of, like, is that how you guys ended up at Jahal?
Yep, we were running a job, and then once our job was finished, we had to bring our contract back.
So you were stationed on the Volton then? Is
Indeed.
that how it worked? Okay. Just clarifying our circumstantial meeting.
Yeah.
So with that, and also I will say this for the sake of just letting you guys know for your ship. Your new junk will only allow you 8 slots.
Okay.
So including yourselves, so you take up 3. That's how much you have left to fill up space.
So we have 5 spots available, and
4. Wake's probably going to travel with Nedra.
okay. So 4 spots available. We know that Red has said that she is just going
Yep.
with the Volition, so she will probably not be
Everyone
joining
else
us.
kind of wants a break.
Yeah.
And also, technically, they can't join you because if you're going to join the company, they kind of have to have the paperwork set up. You guys can be put
okay.
on there.
Gotcha.
They cannot.
Understood. Now I see. So none of them are officially through the process yet, so none of
Right.
them can go with us if we're going
Since
somewhere.
you're the captain,
Well, if we're going under official means, I guess.
Yep. Under official means, it's going to take longer for them. You 3 got ahead because you're the captain, and you 2 have been, like, kind of sailing together way closer than everyone else. So they were able, like, Pontus was able to get you 3 at least into the guild quickly.
In
And
Red's
since-
report, she was able to discern the 3 main characters.
Yes.
Seems like these guys get a lot more story focus. I don't know.
Yeah.
They seem to be at the center of a lot of this stuff.
You notice they barely ever split up, and when they do, it's kind of tedious.
So if you, Pliskin looks over to you, Ezra, and goes, well, I mean, since these guys are up on the block and since you're looking for crew members, I'd say start doing some interviews as quickly as you can.
No, yeah, that.
You can do them now, but the only thing is that only the captain's allowed to actually do the interviews.
What? I can't have my guys here to help vet. Okay.
Nah, that's cool.
I mean, I got like 2 more stops to make in town anyway. I want to hit up that Bard's College, and I want to talk to some of those.
Well, I was
going
gonna say on this list we've got Montgomery Bout for the bard position. We got that covered.
Oh, they can allow you so long. How the guild runs is basically everyone here is going to tell you how much they pay for. You can ask questions about them, learn a little bit about themselves, and see how they're going to fit into the crew. And then afterwards, if their pay is acceptable and you feel they're a proper fit, at least having one person from every job would be the
Right.
best bet. You could have doubles, but I'd say it'd be pretty silly to have everyone else except the helmsman and no one knows how to run a ship.
I look over to Wake. It's sounding like if we're going to be traveling as part of the Adventurers Guild now, it might be tough to bring Nedra along.
Oh, she could Priskin looks to you. Oh no, she could come. It's just right now she can't. She's got to run the paperwork to actually live here.
Well, what if they were processing that paperwork while we were heading out? Like
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, so she could travel
Okay,
on our
she
boat.
can't-
She just can't live here.
Okay.
It would take up a slot though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she seems. Maybe we could double up on some of these jobs. There's some people here who can do more than one thing. I know we'd have to probably pay them a higher premium if they're, perhaps helping assist in a different job.
I'm a navigator.
Yeah.
I need another compass, though. I'm gonna go buy another compass. Also, God, that fucking hurt. Just keeps rubbing his head.
Is there anyone on this list? I will allow you 2 interviews right now. if
2
you would
interviews
if
right
you-
now?
Right now.
Okay.
You're going to be here for a
Hold
couple of
on.
days, so you can fill these out.
Yeah.
But if you guys see anyone on this list you think you would want to start questioning now, speak now.
I look over at Eloy and Wake. Now, guys, listen. On official paper and on the record, I'm the only one who can give the interview. But if you just happen to bump into any of these guys, feel free to ask them any questions you think are prescient.
I want to know exactly what a soup kitchen is, and
No, that's his name. His name is Soup Kitchen.
yeah, but what's a warforge?
Oh, yeah.
Is that like a stove, or is like that's clearly it's under the race because I see but what I don't.
Roll knowledge. With disadvantage.
I am willingly failing this.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then never mind. If you're going to play to ignorance, then yeah, you don't know what a warforged is.
I rolled an 8. I know what a war.
You don't even know what a warforged is.
I'm sure it's like probably like his club, like his like
just wanna-
tribe name.
I just need to know, like, is it?
I'm sure it sounds way more intimidating than it is.
I rolled a 15. I've heard,
You know what it is. I'm gonna quickly flub this to you so you can tell everyone else. You've actually seen before when you came down from the mountain and you went into town. There were actually guards designated that looked like golems made out of metal and trees, and they actually like move, almost sort of like how Carbel acted, but they're more fitted out to actually be interchangeable for war.
yeah, I saw one once, not like close up, but they're like metal boys, like sort of like Carbel, but metal instead of stone.
Oh,
So, I mean, that sounds really cool.
it does sound neat. But Frank Motion, we know he seems like an okay guy.
I've never heard that name in my life.
He has not.
Oh, that's right. You weren't here for that. He made us some delicious crepes. Well, we can definitely interview Soup Kitchen. I mean, I feel like I've, in a way, interviewed Frank already.
I vote that.
To
Well, hey, you know what?
To actually consider someone, you do have to interview them
Yeah,
if
I
you know
know.
them or not.
Yeah. Well, Ezra goes like, all right, well, then fine. I'm curious, too. I want to see one of these metal boys, even if it turns out that he's not a good fit for us. I just got to know. I'll definitely interview Soup Kitchen.
Probably gonna need a helmsman.
Yeah, that was going to be my next thought, and I gotta say, Magic Bill Wilhelm sounds like quite the character. I'm gonna need to know what he's about, and he, it seems like he's also got some experience as an arcanist, which we also need if we're gonna be losing Red.
A bosun would also be good.
Oh yeah,
Boatswain, I am sorry. I called it boat swim on the fucking paper.
I see.
You
I
autocorrect.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
autocorrect.
Yeah, a bosun, like somebody that
Boatswain.
writes a ship.
Boatswain, someone who fixes
Yeah.
wrecked ships.
yeah,
Especially now that it's not self-repairing.
yeah. That's going to add add some extra jobs to the
I
ship.
feel like we kind of just let that go because every time we hit something, we just here, Yeldon, eat some wood. Maybe our parking job will have to be a little bit better.
You'll need a clean helmsman then.
Yes.
Uh,
All right. If it's us, Nedra, Magic Bill, Soup Kitchen, that still leaves 2 floating slots.
I mean,
A cannoneer might be good, in case we're under fire. A surgeon, we're losing wrist. We won't have our classic Healy magic.
I mean,
wait, that actually kind of like dawns on Wake. Wait, Risp, you don't want to travel with us anymore?
Well, I kind of need to understand what I've become now.
Yeah, I
Me
guess.
and Pliskin actually kind of have a certain job we also have to look into. We would like some rest before we move out again.
I guess that makes sense. I'm gonna miss you, and Pliskin.
We'll still be here.
Well, yeah, I'm just traveling. I'm not used to saying goodbye. The first time I've had to do that for
Pliskin just
anybody
looks
in a
over you
while.
and just like arches his brow. You're not, dude. You're going to be here. If you're staying in the guild, you're pretty much making a home here. We're pretty much neighbors at this point.
I guess.
We're saying goodbye to them for a time.
yeah, I'm not used to that either. I'm not used to saying goodbye to people who are still alive.
The last same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fist bump. Yeah.
The trauma fist
Depression bros.
bump. Traumatic fist bump.
I miss Timothy.
Oh man, do you think he'd make a good quartermaster?
I mean, he probably would, but it'd be hard to get him here.
This guy getting a bunch of pumpkins.
Summon pumpkins.
So many pumpkins.
I look to
I miss Calliope.
I look to Risk.
We know.
Yeah.
I look to Risk and Pliskin.
We've read your diaries.
What do you think we do on those long days where when we're not encountering something?
There's Red.
Is that what everybody laughs about?
There's Red. I read him.
Is that why everyone laughs?
Maybe.
So if we need one of these people on our ship, do I just need to go and
You don't
find
need
them?
one. You don't need to one of everything. You have to go up to the desk and say you want to interview someone.
Okay, I just didn't know if I was gonna have to
You don't
guess
have to,
and
you don't
assume-
have to find them, but you can everyone's kind of standing at the board. I mean, if you take a good perception check, you might be able to find someone before the interview. But they want you to make it official. They want you to have
Okay.
an interview in in real time.
And out of game, you said that we have like roughly time for 2 interviews or something. Is that what you?
For
said?
right this time, you have room for 2 interviews at this very moment.
Okay.
Well, Wake wants to see Soup Kitchen,
was
but
gonna
he's
say
not going to be there. So Ezra will have to decide whether that makes sense or not. But of all the positions labeled,
Well, is this,
Wake
is this
would-
interview held in like behind closed doors?
Yep, I'm going
okay.
to have to ask these 2 to get offset.
Oh,
shit.
wow.
Wake
So
will go buy his.
realsy.
Wake will go gather his shit from the Yeldon and go buy a compass. Of the 3 remaining slots outside of cook that we have, Wake would probably look for a surgeon, a helmsman, and a bosun.
I mean,
Yep.
I've gotten pretty good with that healing magic.
That is true. You are.
We
pretty
do have
good at that.
plenty. We do have a lot of these scrolls. Wake just opens up his bag, it's full of healing words.
Well, think of it this way. Not only are these people going to be befitting a certain criteria for a job on the ship, but they also can be combatants.
Yeah. I also looked awake. You spent the most time with him, this Koloff guy. Worth interviewing? Yes? No?
Wake's just shaking his head, not necessarily emphatically, but he's just looking you in the eye.
Understood.
No.
You seemed nice enough, but
Last I saw him, he was in cuffs going down, I don't know, that way.
oh, you saw him?
Yeah, I didn't really stop to say hi.
I guess you were in a hurry.
Ave Lo and Arahati and Troy Hulch were with him, so they, I don't know. I think one of them waved. Maybe it was Tur.
Okay, well, I guess I got a lot to think about then. I'll go ahead and figure out which interviews to do, and I'm thinking I'm gonna interview Soup Kitchen, because whether or not you see him during the interview, if he joins the crew, you'll get a good look at him, and if not,
You're not going to be leaving port, so you can act like if you want to find these people afterwards, they're here.
All right, just tell me everything. I want to know. Like, is his head a pot? Like, I just don't know. Like, is it full of soup? Is he made of soup?
If he is made of soup, hire him right away.
The interview over. Is he full of soup?
I will make sure I open with that. Mark my words. Ask if made of soup.
All right, so I really need to know, like,
Yeah, okay.
which of the 2 you're going to do.
Yeah, all right. Soup Kitchen's definitely. Look at the rest of this list.
And remember, they can only do one job at a time. You're hiring them for one specific
For
job.
what they're doing.
So if there's someone on the ship who could do 2 jobs,
Will I have to interview them twice?
no, you won't have to interview them twice, but you will have to pay them double.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say right now, I think Soup Kitchen and Magic Bill are the two most obvious, because Magic Bill covers 2 jobs I'm curious about. We do need a surgeon, or I would like a surgeon rather. But right now, Magic Bill and Soup Kitchen are just speaking to me.
What do you want to hire Magic Bill for?
Magic Bill in particular as a helmsman. The
Okay.
the Arcanist would be nice, but not top of my priority list. Helmsman sounds more important.
Soup Spoon, obviously a surgeon.
yeah. Soup
Kitchen.
Soup Kitchen, surgeon.
Sorry, Nuzlocke getting in my head.
All right, so if that's the case, do we want to take a break here, or do we want to go on with the interviews?
I can do
Go
the
with the
interview.
interviews.
Interviews?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
you two, off stage.
I'm gonna go buy a compass and grab my shit from the Eldon.
I'm gonna go check out the Bard's College.
Maybe play some Hearthstone.
You can stay in the room, you just can't be on set. Hello.
Hi. This got a lot more intimate than I'm used to it being.
All right, so you head on up to the counter. There is a small gnome lady kind of just writing down paperwork as she sees you walk up to the counter. She steps on her stool so her head kind of goes over the table. Can I help you?
Hi. I'm Captain Ezra of the Natural Wonders. I'm a recent addition.
Hold on a second. She goes through a little Rolodex of information. She presses a button and it starts flipping. And then it magically just comes out of the Rolodex, and then a second one comes in. Ah, yes, you're a new addition.
Yeah.
It seems that Mr. Ryle put you in just recently.
Yeah, we had a meeting rather recently, and we basically just joined, and
It's really surprising how. I'm sorry, let me just double check these names because I don't want to fuck this up.
go for it.
It's very it's actually kind of shocking that Mr. Ryle went over Nork and Narf. They'd be really upset if they found out that a new person came on without their jurisdiction. But I think I think Mr. Wright's say is a little bit more impressive than those two.
Glad Mr. Wright, you say?
Yes. Oh, God. Ryle.
I was like, whoa,
Pont-
this got real interesting.
Yeah, Mr. Ryle.
Well, he seemed to have quite the high opinion of us, and we've got, a pretty detailed note about our previous journey. So I think he knows what we're capable of.
What is your ship?
We're in the process of getting that ship from Lieutenant Gore. He's actually bringing it here. Our previous ship had some.
You see Gore just look at you, and, wave over to the side.
It had some difficulties, so unfortunately we had to exchange for a new ship. But it's on the way. I actually haven't.
What type of ship is it?
It seems to be a junk.
So a small amount of crew, I see.
Yes.
Excellent. So how many people do you have currently on your crew, outside of anyone you wish to hire?
As of right now, we have basically a guaranteed group of 3.
Very well. All right. You are allotted 2 interviews for every 24 hours. Who would you like to interview from the list?
Today, I would like to interview Soup Kitchen, and I would like for the position of cook, and I would like to interview Magic Bill Wilhelm for the position of helmsman.
Excellent. You watch as the Rolodex spins again, and she pulls out their pictures. She hands you a small little dossier for you to write down notes and gives you a pen and quill. All right. You may enter conference room 2. I will send them in as soon as I can.
You've got this stressful interview atmosphere down. Perfect. I head into the
It's almost like I've known it from experience.
Yeah, weird.
Weird that. Don't be 15 minutes early and don't be 15 minutes late.
Yep.
All right, so you are now sitting in a very small room, very nice table. You're in a giant red chair showing authority that you indeed are the captain. There's a bunch of nautical things all around you. You have your paperwork in front of you for you to take notes. After a few minutes have passed by, this place is lit by candlelight. The moment you open the door, the actual candles kind of lit by themselves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And a small fireplace is off to the side.
Fancy digs.
Do you, the little lady gnome kind of looks up to you. Do you wish anything to drink?
Oh, a water would be fine, ma'am.
She claps her hand, and you watch as from the table, a small little hole kind of materializes, and a small bubble pops out with a glass of water.
This place is amazing.
We'll get your interview in soon, I promise.
Thank you very much.
She waddles out and shuts the door behind you.
Ezra just kind of, before just taking his seat, he sort of just walks around the room and looks at the nautical things, just casually sipping from his cup and just
Roll a knowledge check.
wonder what this is all about. With a 14 in knowledge.
All right. You're actually looking at Mr. Wright, the person who owned this entire city.
Wow.
You're looking at the first mayor of Wright. He is a he looks like a very well-dressed, top hat, long beard, and tuxedo attire with a cane. He's a Goliath.
Big dapper man. Seems like the right shoulders this place would
He has a
built on.
monocle in his eye, but when you look at it close enough, the monocle is in his flesh. Almost like someone punched it in there and he never took it out.
Huh. Interesting.
As someone knocks on the door.
Yes, come in.
As you open the door, you see a describe your height again real quick for the audience.
Ezra is of average height. I would say somewhere in the mid 5 footers, 5'5", 5'6".
5'5"? Okay. This man, you watch as a robotic figure, a metal figure opens the door. Its arms are made of this really, really well-stained tree bark.
Okay.
And one of its arms is actually detachable. As it opens the door, you can see part of it is metal and the other part of it is that entangling wood. Almost reminds you of strangle trees work in a way.
Okay.
He is wearing a brown tunic and light gray pants. He is carrying a moderately sized hammer off the side of him that almost looks like a mallet.
Okay.
His etchings almost remind you of elven runes that if you read them, since you can read Slyvan, you can see it. It says designation 755 etched out along his entire body. He walks in, he like stands there before you. He doesn't take a seat, he just stands there and looks at you with his glowing red eyes, and like the same glow is coming out of his mouth that is hanging open. He can't actively open and close it. Greetings.
Hello there. I'm Ezra Lockwood, looking for a cook.
Greetings, Captain Eswood. This one is designated Soup Kitchen.
Yeah, I found that fascinating. Can you tell me a bit about your experience as a traveling cook?
You hear like the mechanisms whir as he holds up a small. He holds up his hand, and then it kind of like turns. He pulls it off from the other hand, his one hand off, the one that had like the couplings around where the tree is. You watch as the roots kind of like grab for something that's not there. He attaches another piece in, and it's a spatula.
Exciting.
My designation is to make sure the crew is filled.
Okay. So with your food, does it come with any like backlash? Is there ever any sort of chance factor to the meals you provide?
His entire face turns even redder at that designation. When you say that to him, he's just like, you watch as it turns from a light red to a dark red. Failure does not compute.
All right.
I will make sure the crew is satisfied.
Excellent. And how are you in terms of, say... Okay.
I thought you were going to do heists. No. I swear to God.
Close. Not quite. Let's say there's a hypothetical scenario, and our ship is sinking, and the only way to save it is a talent show. What do you do?
Fuck, what?
Hey, man, Ezra's got to know. Ezra's got questions.
I fail to see how a talent show will prevent a ship from sinking. I apologize if this seems out of line, sir. My code is to make sure that everything is logical.
All right. Just make a quick note of that.
However, if you were to ask my talent... He looks down at himself. He pulls out his hammer.
Oh.
I am interchangeable.
That is impressive. Do you have any combat experience? Have you ever had to defend yourself?
Yes, this mallet was one to struck down animals that I used to put in my cooking.
Ah, I see.
Large animals, like wolves of a large, dire variety.
Has dealt with dire wolves. Was this something you were able to do by yourself? You were able to handle these dire wolves?
Indeed, it intruded upon my kitchen, my designated zone of comfort. I took care of it, and then served it. Revenge is a dish best served cold. I disagree. I served it warm.
Well, that sounds delicious. Do you have any notable enemies or anyone who would perhaps, if we...
Food critics.
Great. But as far as, traveling around with you, I have to apologize. My knowledge of the Warforged is rather lacking. There's nowhere we would go that, say, you being along with the crew would pose a problem in the society.
I do not see why this would be the case. I was made by someone of the Navy, designated to make sure that one was defended in civilized areas.
A Navy man. Got it.
I do not remember which factory I was forged in. However, I do remember that even though it was put into my code to make sure to defend others and defend civies from any sort of attack, I also gained sentience enough to want to learn how to cook. It is my passion.
Well, that's remarkable. I didn't even realize
I take
that
cooking very seriously. You watch as the mallet interchanges into his arm and bleeds into the vines, and out pops a hatchet, like a cleaver.
Very exciting stuff. Next question, very important. What kind of compensation are you looking for if you were to come along this journey?
Let's see. Let me get that because I actually have paperwork for that.
I figured you did. What's your rate, Mr. Soup Kitchen?
Here's the... Oh. See, me throwing the paperwork was really stupid.
Now it's all out of order.
Yeah.
For a reason.
I had to do the Jape, Brian. Sue me.
It was all for the bit.
It was all for the bit. The things I do for you people. Soup Kitchen asks for 250 gold a week.
All right.
He
and-
does from the way he sounds. Roll me an insight check.
12.
You can gather that while yes, he's there to fill food, you are uncertain if this also means that he knows how to make things taste good for the crew. So while he serves his function with rigorous fervor, you don't know how well it's received.
All right. I see the game here. Trying to think of anything else that would be really pertinent.
Do you wish this one to be designated in combat as well?
It may come up. It's one of those things where obviously if we can avoid it, it would be nice to have any sort of it'd be nice to avoid any sort of confrontation. That's why I asked what kind of combat experience you had. You would definitely be primarily hired as a cook, but say our ship is boarded and we're attacked, I would request your assistance in repelling attackers.
My kind were made to diffuse war. I can do this.
Well, that could definitely come in handy if it's needed. All right. I guess my last question for you would be: is there anything else you would really want a potential future employer to know? Perhaps any sort of fun tidbit or fact that could come in handy should it come down to the wire whether or not it's you or another
This
applicant.
one is capable of being able to be infused with certain metals. Should you give me gold, my plating should become as that.
All right.
If you gave me if you gave me some sort of magical artifact, my core would react as such.
Can infuse minerals to body.
This one is uncertain if this is valuable towards his cooking position. However, I do feel this is one that is a valuable tool for that of war.
No, that is a very valuable skill, and will very was worth me making a note. So could very much come in handy. Thank you so much, Mr. Soup Kitchen, for your time. I will be sure to use the proper avenues should we come a calling.
You watch as his hand is covered in those vines again to make fingers. He reaches his hand out to you for a shake.
I shake his hand.
You feel your bones crack as he squeezes deep.
Got a grip there.
Let's go.
Thank you very much, sir.
I hope you will consider me for the position.
We will be in contact.
And he juts out the door.
Well, all right. Maybe not the most fun guy, but seems a bit passionate about what he wants to do. Not quite sure if he's got the whole taste profile down of people, but that might be something we could work on. Though I do know Frank already made those fantastic crepes, so he's definitely got that taste part down. Anyway. Oh, yes, you may come in.
As you open the door, in comes a very well-decorated Arakakra. So, I'm not certain if you've seen, have you ever seen, the hooded, crested, water ducks? Where they have, it's the rest of their head is, combed back and black, and, they have, a small little thing that can turn into an afro, and when it does, there's, a little spot of white that grows with it.
Okay. I think I've seen those.
So, this guy's, feather color is a coalish color. He's got little markings of white inside of his hair and going down into, the rest of the parts of his body. His wings are reminiscent of a duck. This man is pretty much a duck Arakakra. He is wearing a... He's not a brown, I'm sorry. He's wearing a dark blue uniform that almost kind of conforms into a suit, but then goes into a robe that kind of shows that there is magical adherence to what he does. He's carrying around a couple of books around him, and he looks like a very scholarly gentleman.
Okay. I extend my hand out for a handshake. Mr. Wilhelm, I presume?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. He shakes your hand back.
Nice to meet you.
He pulls out a talon, and you look at his hands. His hands are actually scarred from the back of his fingers down to his wrist.
I'm gonna make a note here. Very magic.
Remember in Infinity War when Cumberbatch's fingers looked like it had the scarring going down his hand? Think that.
Okay. Well, hello, Mr. Wilhelm. My name is Ezra Lockwood. I'm captain of the Natural Wonders, and I am here to interview you for the position of helmsman.
I see.
Can you tell me a little bit about your experience? How many, how long have you been doing this?
Well, when I was a child, I was born into a very prestigious arcane family. We
Okay.
used, being my biological makeup, as it would. I was one tasked to make sure that ships were sailed perfectly, and my father taught me how to be a helmsman. My passion is that of magic, but I do know how to run a ship. I am a conjurer by trade. I'm not certain. Unfortunately, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but have you not seen any of my material out in the realms?
Well, I've never been one of the big magic seekers out there, so I would not be someone who would probably stumble upon it. I can definitely ask around, though.
I see. I have written quite a few books in my day, sir. Sought out by the highest order and those for the top dollar.
Really?
Indeed. My knowledge of summoning those from other planes is quite well known, and I am very eager to learn more. These jobs help me fund that research.
Interesting. Forgive me if I'm asking too much. I noticed when I shook your hand that seemed to have had a bit of a marking on it. Would you mind telling me what happened there?
Yes, when my early years, when I started to dabble in the ways of being a conjurer, I summoned something beyond my own power, and without knowing my limit, I was scarred for it.
But
Unfortunately, I was not capable of being able to wrangle a demon in such a matter, and unfortunately, I paid the price for it.
does sound scary. But does that scarring leave any sort of disabilities? Has that affected your work or your ability to?
I would hope not. This is
Okay.
my writing hand.
Excellent. Good. Glad to hear. Second question kind of comes in a little bit with it. Do you have any combat experience? A lot of our adventures can take us to dangerous places, and I want to be sure that even though
he
combat
reaches-
wouldn't be a part of your job description, it may come in handy.
He reaches into his cloak and pulls out a scepter that looks like a severed red arm with it curled around an orb. This is the result of the demon that tried to slay me and gave me a scar.
Very impressive. Slayed demon.
Would you like a demonstration of my work?
I mean, if you could just give a small demonstration, yeah. Nothing too flashy.
No, of course not. He looks off to the side. He pulls his scepter out. He kind of just mutters something in infernal to himself. And sitting on his shoulder is now an ethereal flamed monkey.
Fascinating. Next question. There's a very real chance that one of our traveling companions could be a tiefling. Is that someone that it seems you have some issues, some previous dealings with demons? Would that be an issue for you?
I would say not.
Okay.
I would actually be more fascinated in this person more than I would be afraid. A good chance to run some experiments and learn some more studies.
Well, obviously we'll have to get her cleared on that and make sure that's something she's okay with. But if that comes to pass, then I want to make sure that that's not a problem
But
for you.
I apologize. I feel I am prattling on about my hobbies as an arcanist more than I am as a helmsman.
No, it's fine. This is actually an important part of the interview, me making sure the stuff around the job that we are hiring for you'll also be capable of. As far as the helmsman stuff go, how much experience do you have piloting junks?
Junks, no. Sloops, yes.
Okay.
I used to work in my father's merchant business.
All right, so not much of a junk guy. Unfortunately, that is looking like it's going to be the ship we have. Do you
I
think
fe-
you'd be capable of figuring it out and learning it in a timely manner?
Yes, very much so.
Excellent.
Given the proper time and the chance to actually be able to run the vessel, I feel I can adapt as quickly as possible.
Well, all right. We're not in a huge rush or anything, so there's likely some time for you to get at least a little bit of experience before, we set sail and people's lives
me.
are in your hands.
Tell me, is this ship a Vorpal vessel? Gore did say it was a Vorpal junk.
He did. Okay. Yes, it is.
Ah, excellent. I will be more right at home then.
Excellent.
I'm certain the make will be different, but in all cases and scenarios, the ship is run by the Feywild. Mm-hmm. I am very attuned with this. I can work with these conditions.
Good. Trying to think if there's ever any important things as far as the helmsman job goes. We our previous helmsman was a good man, but alas, we lost him too soon.
I dare say, sir, you don't want to open up a bargaining chip about someone who had passed. He kind of like snickers about that. You hear like a small like little quack in his voice when he says that.
But it sounds like you have plenty of experience and as well as your additional skills. As far as, do you have any stories as far as your previous experience being a helmsman of just, let's say the most impressive story you can tell about your past as a helmsman?
I dare say I don't believe I have anything dangerous or very wild about a helmsman. I did work under another person who works here at the guild, who is more equipped at being a helmsman than I. Rather, I'm sorry if I fear this takes away from me, but I feel I must decorate this man a little bit, as he did save my life.
Go ahead.
Tell me, did you see up on the list that there was a man named Umlaut Fairfound?
Yes, I did.
I worked with him on a couple of jobs once before. When I first entered the guild, I was under his ship. We had to sail a ship away from a hostile pirate vessel through a maelstrom. It was between the combined efforts of me and Mr. Fairfound that we were able to get away safely. However, this maelstrom was done by magical means. My job as a helmsman was passed on to him so I could take care of the storm.
Okay. Fascinating. All right. This actually leads me down another line of questioning I hadn't previously considered. A lot of these guild members, I'm sure you've worked with them before or met them in passing. Is there anyone that, if you happen to take a look at the change list that went up, is there anyone on there in particular that you couldn't work with?
Well, I'm certain you've been in town long enough to know that a Miss Gentle is a very bad omen.
She does seem to be of the questionable sort.
I don't wish to speak ill of the man, but a one Pavlos.
Ah, yes.
He is a good gentleman. He does his job well, but I feel he is haunted.
Haunted. Interesting. Okay.
I fear that bringing him onto any vessel would make one cursed.
All right. I will definitely make a note of that. Just on the off
Oh,
chance
and there is that Polify girl. Between you and me, I can't stand that laughter.
I've met her. It is a little bit much. All right.
But she does her work well. Just still that laughter. Ugh.
And
Bleh.
I hear you, pal. Next question. As far as your compensation goes, what would you be looking for? Both for the role, I know I'm interviewing you as helmsman, but just for my information also, if you were to be taking the arcanist position, is there a different fee for each?
Indeed.
Okay.
If you wait, hold on, I'm losing my paperwork again. Shit.
That's what you get for making jokes.
I know, right? Fucking silly me. Shut up! As a helmsman, I would go for the price of $350 a week. As an arcanist, I would take $450 a week. I fear that is more in my wheelhouse and more appropriate for what I do.
Understood.
I tell you, sir, there's a reason why people read my novels in the ways of magic.
No, you seem to really know your stuff, and I actually have a comrade who is looking to learn a bit more about magic. Would you be willing to do any sort of teaching or, perhaps mentoring for someone who might also be trying to learn the ways of magic?
If they seek the ways of conjuring, I can teach them a thing or two.
Okay.
That, of course, would cost a little bit of a tutoring fee, but that's something more on them than it would be on you as the captain.
Definitely. It's something we can certainly look into and come to an agreement about. Well, I believe that is most of my questions. I guess the last one would be, is there anything you would like to tell me about yourself that you think would be appropriate for someone looking over and, comparing you, say, to others for a job position?
He, reaches into his pocket and pulls out one of his novels and hands it to you. This will say it all.
All right. Are you just giving this to me?
Indeed.
Well, thank you very much.
As one would call it, one of the sailors around here seem to claim it as a business card.
My
My book will speak volumes for that regard.
You know that hey, this is a very confident move. I greatly appreciate it. What is the name of the book so that I might write it down?
Of planes and evil things. It contains, if you're just skimming through it, it contains ingredients needed to conjure things for the layman. Spectral hands, maybe tools that you need at a certain point. If you have the spare materials that you would not be able to have a certain object, it can be summoned from another plane, but only for a certain time. So pretty much just, if you need a job done and it requires a certain object, like reading through this and getting the materials you would need, you would be able to summon a creature from another plane that can assist you with what you're trying to do.
Gotcha.
For like small menial tasks.
Well, thank you very much. I will definitely look through this and try to make sure my opinion is as informed as it can possibly be.
I thank you, sir.
And I thank you for your time.
He shakes your hand and does a quick bow,
I bow back.
and he waddles out.
Huh. All right. Two very interesting applicants. Now this just makes me want to look at the rest.
How much?
Curses.
You know what? For the sake of it, I think we have time for one more if you would like.
One more? Oh, man. Okay, hold on. Let me just run down this list real quick. You know, let's bring in... Actually, you know what? I think I will call the interviews just for now. I will spend some time doing some off the clock snooping in town, and that'll help me make a more informed decision on who I interview next.
All right, let me grab the other two real quick.
Go for it.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right, welcome back. So you two, after doing a little bit of like just some MacGuffinry going about talking to other people, you watch as Ezra comes out of a conference hall followed by a gnome lady who says, well, I hope your applications seem to fit your needs, sir.
Thank you very much. They gave me a lot to think about.
You have 24 hours to do another few interviews should you so seem to.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, so like, what's the deal? Like, is he made of soup?
Okay, so he is not made of soup. He is. Do you remember the woodman we met with the igberries?
Kinda.
Yeah,
I mean, strangle.
Yeah, strangle. Strangle root.
Strangle tree.
Strangle tree. Yeah, he was kind of like him, but think more metal. But he also had like the kind of like the roots and vines and stuff that could go around and manipulate stuff. He seemed like a real interesting guy. However, perhaps while I think he is a skilled cook and would definitely keep us well fed, he seemed a bit automated, might not be great at the taste profile, which has me a bit concerned. That said, he claimed to be passionate about cooking, which to me sounds like that's something we can improve upon. It might not be great at first, but it's something we can work on. And what has me most interested are his other capabilities. He seems to be able to attach and reattach his hands so that he can have different tools depending on the situation, including a mallet, which he says was also, he was originally built for war, so he'll be good in combat, which would be nice to have.
That is interesting.
Yeah, but after gaining sentience, he was so passionate about cooking, he left the Navy to pursue his culinary desires.
How can we ever fault him for that?
Exactly.
It's pretty much what I did.
Yeah, it seemed very fascinating. His going rate is 250 gold a week. Which,
whoa! How much is that to us?
I just got 10,000 gold.
Yeah, but like, how much is that to last? I mean, we're talking like
The moment. Okay, here's how it works.
What are our stock options?
The moment you set sail is the time started for their service, and then in 7 days' time in game you have to pay them their price.
Man, how much did Pliskin and Risp make? Like, they were gone for months.
Yeah, they've been on quite the journey.
That's something to ask them later.
I mean, I've never been much for money.
Yeah,
I mean,
you've never
I
been
got
a
this
material
neat
man.
compass. It's got antlers.
Oh, nice.
So, question: did either of them, Mr. Soup Kitchen or the other one, you talked to Magic Bill? Also,
Yes.
is that right?
Correct.
Are either of them secretly dragons in disguise?
Did you ask? Was that the first question?
I thought we agreed that would be the standard.
That seems
first
really
question.
important.
Here's the thing. I considered asking that, but wouldn't it be more amazing if it was a surprise?
He forgot to ask.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be more? Okay, fine. I forgot to ask. I'm sorry. Had a lot on my mind. Whether or not
Gore
they were a
standing right
dragon,
behind you. You should have asked.
whether or not they were secretly,
Gesture to him.
whether or not they were secretly a dragon didn't seem, prescient. If it's something they reveal in their own
Here's
time.
Gore kind of like leans down to Eloy's ear. Here's a spoiler, son. They're not.
Oh. You know what?
I mean, that is a little bit of a spoiler.
You know what? You're right, Ezra. I would have preferred to enjoy the mystery.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Thank you for that life lesson, Mr. Gore.
We've all learned something today.
But either way, Soup Kitchen seems like he'd be a fine man. Again, my biggest concern with him is taste flavor profile might not be his strong suit. He will keep us well fed, and the food will do its job. It will give us,
You're right. We should just hire Grammy.
I mean,
It's as everything was intended. I mean, I went through a lot of trouble to get her onto the.
it does feel right.
It does.
I feel like if we need Grammy, she'll be there.
I also feel that. I feel like
I'll just attach myself to the bottom of the boat like a barnacle.
See, she's always here.
Grammy seems like someone who's beyond paperwork, let's say.
But I'd like to get paid. That sounds like a good idea.
See, this is like people told her about money, and now
It's thrown the whole chain of
I've been
command.
corrupted by capitalism.
Yes, capitalism is what did that.
Grammy, victim of capitalism. The other interviewee I had was very fascinating. This Magic Bill Wilhelm. He seems like he'll be a perfectly fine, capable helmsman. All the stories he told seems like he is on the up and up. Maybe not exemplary, but good. The other fellow, Umlaut, seems to be the stronger helmsman. That said, the magic he could provide might be worth that.
which one, Umlaut or Magic Bill? I'm
Magic-
assuming Magic Bill.
Magic Bill is the magic one of those duo, surprisingly.
I was not going to assume, just like
Yeah.
I do not like to assume whether they are dragons or not.
You know, your caution is something to aspire to. Now, while I didn't interview Umlaut, so I don't know exactly his story, Magic Bill has, he hasn't quite had experience with the exact style of vessel we will be piloting. That said, he seems very confident that he could learn it in very little time. Let me see what I wrote down here for the note. Oh, that's right. He is very passionate about magic, which to me, if I'm being a bit of a miser here, sounds like something I don't need to exactly hire him for him to just do anyway.
Now, what kind of magic does he do? Does he do wizardy magic with books or god magic
Speaking
like Riz?
of books, he is also a celebrated author, and as just a token for the interview, and perhaps to try and get me a little biased, he handed me this book if I had any questions on his magical prowess.
Ooh.
He seems to be an expert in the conjuring ways. So you're more knowledgeable about magic than I am, Eloy. If you want to flip through this and see if there's anything here for you, this is let me just get that title again: Of Planes and Evil Things by Magic Bill Wilhelm.
I like it. It hooks me without giving too much away.
Idiot's Guide to Demon Summoning.
And when I asked about his combat prowess, the story he told was he had a bit of a scarred up right hand. And when I asked about it, he had said that he summoned a demon that was too powerful for him when he was younger and learning the ways. However, he then showed me a scepter, to which he said, "This is what's left of that demon." So he is clearly capable when it comes to a fight, which, not quite something that I'm hiring completely based on, but, could come in handy with the life we lead.
Just clarifying, the demon was also not a dragon.
Correct. Oh,
Okay.
well, I mean, I feel like that's something he would have brought up that would have made it much more impressive.
You forgot to ask.
I mean, I didn't ask if the demon was a dragon. No, that wasn't something I forgot to ask, Wake. He said a demon. I'm choosing to trust my interviewee. If Also, you know what? He would not be obligated to tell me if he was a dragon. I don't think
I guess
that's
that's
how it
true.
works.
I guess that's also true.
Mr.
But
Gore, can demons be dragons?
can dragons be demons?
Either way,
That sounds scary.
That sounds horrifying, son.
it does.
That's
I
why
hope
we
they
thought.
don't.
Okay, good. See, we got clarification
Unless
there.
Nedra was a dragon, that'd be neat.
That would be neat.
That would be
Speaking
kinda
of,
cool.
I asked if there would be any issues with him traveling with Nedra, since didn't know tiefling, demon, etc. If that had any sort of lasting traumas. And he said that he would be not at all afraid to travel with her, and would in fact be delighted to have a chance to speak with and study such a person. To which I said that would be up to Nedra.
Right. Now that staff he held, you said that that's what's left of the demon. He did not mention anything about that demon still being there in the staff. I don't know much about demons.
That's a very
they like
fair
to go
question.
places.
Well, Mr. Granderfault was nice enough when he became a stick.
Yeah, but he also wasn't a demon.
Yeah, it's true. He was more of a ghost.
He was an
man.
He was an Azamar. He was a
He
centaur
became a
Azamar.
lich or something afterwards or something? I don't know.
He was all kinds. You know, I would not be at all surprised if he was a dragon on top of all those other things.
We did not ask.
We
did
never
not.
asked. You know who we also didn't ask? That unicorn.
Oh yeah, no, he
Oh,
was. He
he'd
was
be a real cool dragon.
He was a big boy.
But either way, those are the two people who I've interviewed, and while I think they both could be fine fits, I definitely do want to check
Am I a
around.
dragon?
Yes.
Yes.
We didn't even have to ask you. We just looked
We
at
kind of knew that off the bat.
Yeah, you kind of led with that.
I give him some honey.
For his helmsman job, he is charging $350 a week. However, if we hire him under the guise of an arcanist, it will be $450 a week. So he's a bit more expensive if we're paying for his magic explicitly.
So you're saying that if we brought him on as a helmsman, he might be like, "Oh, I see magic stuff. I'll do this magic."
And he
In-
might,
in
and he
general.
may charge for it. That's what I'm not
You
sure
hear
about.
you hear the little gnome lady goes behind you. No, that breaks contract. All contracts are magical. If they do something that's not part of their job description outside of their own volition, that will incur a payment.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
I mean, still, that's like a. If we run into a situation where we need magic stuff, then we pay the extra 100.
Yes.
If we don't,
No,
it's
you don't pay the extra 100. It's on top of that.
oh,
Yeah, we will be suddenly charged for his arcanist work on top of that.
So that wouldn't be.
okay.
That wouldn't be 350 and four. That would be 350 and 450
Yeah, it's-
at
Right,
the end of a
so-
week.
so we come to
800,
800
yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, 800 at the end of a week.
Gotcha.
However, I did also ask if he would be, even if he wasn't hired as an arcanist, if he'd be willing to teach you, Eloy, some additional magic stuff, since he seems to be a very, according to him, a very in-demand man of magic. So I figured
That's what people who aren't in demand usually say.
he did seem to very quickly just hand me a free copy of his book that supposedly is flying off shelves. So you never know.
I mean, if he's giving them all away for free, of course they are.
True.
Is that the new edition? Gore takes
Whoa!
the book away. Oh, it's last year's. Here you are.
Now, Gore, we're good friends, but please next time ask permission. You're a big man.
I'm sorry.
What?
You know I like to hear gab and gossip.
Oh,
It's
you know,
true.
lots of.
It's what brass dragons do, son.
I
You
assume
know,
it's-
that's what a lot of the professors at the Bard's College do. They come out with a new edition every year, so they can keep selling the same book.
and it's
a
always
real
written by their
scam.
friends.
Yeah, it's a real scam that is unethical,
you-
and they should not do.
It is a bad practice,
Yeah,
and it
Yep.
should not be followed. And if you get a chance to get those books for free, you should take it.
Fascinating.
You watch us. you remember this blonde? You remember the blonde gentleman from the monastery?
Yes.
You see him like go up to Eloy and just nudge him on the shoulder. Don't give the public ideas.
I'm just saying, if there happened to be a source of free traded information out there in the world, that if you had access to this and that people could possibly put those books out there, that I don't think you are under any liability if you take that for yourself and, I don't know, happen to look at it.
Meanwhile,
does-
back in the Nebula Storm, I'm glad we have the internet.
But those were the two people I interviewed, and those are their stories. Obviously, we'll get a better idea of some other folks later when I can interview them as well. I've only got 2 per 24 hours. But all in all, I'd say if our hand was forced and we had to go with these two, they don't seem like bad choices. They might not be the best, but I would not be disappointed with either of them in our crew, at the least.
I am still most curious about Soup Kitchen.
I mean, he's still here.
I was going to say, I'll point him out to him if he's in the room.
Yeah, no, people are still in the room. He just went for the interview.
Okay, yeah. Then I point at him, assuming I can see him.
You see Soup Kitchen.
Please tell me he has like a pot for a head or just something.
He does not have a pot for a head. He looks like a Terminator that has written Elvish runes on his face.
That's a lot scarier than I thought.
Yeah, like I said, originally built for war, he was, taken by his own passion for cooking that changed his title and his occupation.
He's sitting off in the distance. He's not really like paying attention. Like he looks like he's not moving. Like he's just standing there.
He's probably recharging his batteries or something. He didn't seem like a whole lot of personality. Was a bit, automatous.
I feel like we're overloaded on personality.
He is standing right there.
Staring blankly.
Yep, he's just standing there menacingly.
I'm assuming he still has that mallet just either on his person.
Oh no,
or...
his hands are now just what do you call it? It's the bark vines into the one hand that's metal, and then the rest is bark on the other one.
Okay, but does he still have? I know he
has the mallet behind him.
Like on his person.
He detached it.
Okay. And yeah, that mallet there, he can just put it on his hand. It's pretty intense stuff.
Huh.
No losing your grip on that.
I mean, unless somebody breaks it off you.
I mean, yeah, but that's not losing your grip. That's just losing your
Remember
hand.
what he said in his interview? He's interchangeable.
Just saying, wherever there's a seam, there's a weakness.
Also, and maybe this is just me being a little nostalgic, he has the ability to intake minerals and make them part of his body. Sound familiar?
I miss Timothy.
Not who I was thinking, but I miss him too.
Well,
But yeah, that was my interview. What did you two do?
I bought this compass.
Ah,
It looks like a deer.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I said I was going to go check out the Bard's College, but I don't know if we have time for that in this session.
No, we don't, because we are pretty much done right now.
Oh.
At this point, you guys have talked to Ezra. You can. I'm going to leave it open that you just mingled with everyone here. Everyone's super friendly. Everyone's super chill. Everyone's talking about
The between session thing is, I'm going to say Wake introduces Sheldon to Nedra, and
Oh, we can walk into that next time.
that sounds good.
We can walk into that next time. I'm just saying, like, for the rest of the night, you kind of like celebrate with Gore, Ave, Troy, and Alrhadi. You kind of show up. Like,
They're gonna hate us later.
they're pretty much here to just like talk to Gore and speak to him about stuff. They went over the deal with you guys. They're gonna talk about the logistics of it, help you get your stuff off your ship.
I was just
Everyone
gonna
else
say.
is kind of partying, mingling. Nedra's been kind of making a lot of small talk with Gentle this whole time.
It bothers Wake, but he wants her to have her own friends and her own social life.
Riss
All right.
and Pliskin are talking over over charts or paperwork. They're actually speaking to Kowalski about it.
Okay.
Like Kowalski seems to be like being way more talkative with Riss and Pliskin at this point.
The Dragonborn man.
Yes, the Red Scale Dragonborn.
But we'll figure out where this goes next time at the table. But before we go, we of course have fan art to show off. Sorry if that was a...
Yeah,
Wait.
I kind of wasn't finished, but yeah.
I'm sorry, my phone is like dying unless somebody else wants to do this part.
I mean, you can find the thing. But
I mean, we can segue into this next time. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I feel like everything's going to be picked up kind of where we left off right here.
Yeah.
You pretty much end the night on a good note. We'll leave it at that.
Cool.
Yay!
Everybody parties.
Refreshing. First up, starting at number 1, we have here by Marvel Poison, Wake and Nedra's Hug. It's very hard to scale them properly because Wake's like the size of like a slightly shorter than average dude. He's like 5'7". Nedra being 9 feet tall. I'm not sure. Like I still love it. I love it. It's
Dude,
adorable.
it's fantasy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Sizes shift. But
Yeah.
thank you so much, Marvel Poison. It is adorable. I smiled when I saw it. Next up, we got here this lovely little woe by Raffin Noir. Rafenoire. A lot of great detail there. I'm sure we'll be taking a bit deeper of a look at it on Friday.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
There was a sketch version as well, but I got the colored
yeah.
version.
Next up, we got a little gentle here by Stacy Lenigan or Lenahan.
Lenahan.
Yeah.
I saw her doodling this the other night, and I walked in. She's just like, she was just doodling, and I'm like, doodling, right? Just fucking doodling.
I love that mischievous smile because you know if you lift up that little flap, it's just gonna be like those blank dot empty eyes.
Yep.
It's adorable. Thank you so much.
You are far too close for comfort, friend.
Next up, by Lady D Draws, a.k.a. Letter D004, we have Doc Ramsfang, who's got them Rams fangs.
It's true.
Go figure.
I just got it.
Yeah. Good-looking fella there. Good-looking hammer.
Good looking teeth.
Yeah, could be a good It could be a good bosun.
You never know.
Next up, we have some more. Whoa. Gotta scroll down to it and find which one this one is.
I love that she
Here it
says-
is.
I love that she says, sorry, I keep bumping into you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. This is by Roseblood Wolf. Thank you so much, Sarah, for this amazing, amazing design.
I'm glad she's okay. I was worried like when we just kind of handed her over
Nah,
to the Navy.
if they're like, oh, she's going to be terminated, then it's like, okay, well, now we're entering the rescue woe arc.
Nah, Gore was just like, oh, well, thanks for getting... This poor girl would have been killed in any other circumstance.
I assumed a fellow dragon being around would take care of him, but then I like almost immediately after I was like, oh, that's right. He like threw Bob's Robbie across the country.
But
I don't
remember,
know, maybe he hates blue dragons.
Well, no, remember, he's a metallic dragon. They're way nicer than chromatic.
Yeah. Next up, by Harkin Christian, we have this otherworldly design for Gentle.
We have so many
she's-
sights to show you.
Yeah, she's just an eldritch abomination. I'm terrified.
Orphan of Gentle.
Yeah, the orphan of Gentle.
Oh,
She wields her own placenta.
ugh.
That's what he does.
I know. Bloodborne's gross.
But thank you so much, Harkin Christian. Good looking stuff. Next up, by System Recoded.
Yeah.
Talk about Johnny Dark Souls. We got Joey Massacre here. Joe Massacre. I love the blue into the purple flames. Like, these are great accents. And that's a guy you don't want to cross while you're walking across the ocean as you do.
It's a guy I just don't want to come across, I feel.
Yeah, just in general.
Well, you're gonna
Be a
like the
sick
next
looking
one.
cosplay,
You're gonna
though.
like the next picture then.
Next up, by Aliko Bangarang. Bangarang Aliko. Do you know how dead you were going, son?
I'm sorry. Every time I see this, I lose my shit. It's the best.
Very good.
Is good looking stuff. Thank you kindly, Bangarang Aliko. I still love the way the boy does, like, I love the way Aliko does faces.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are unsettling in that sort of like, if he illustrated a version of Ichabod Crane in the like the Sleepy Hollow,
Oh, that'd be
I could
so
see
good.
that.
That'd be so good.
Good shit. Thank you kindly, Aliko. Next up,
Yeah.
we got some more. Well, we got some more Gentle here by Slug Bunnies, whose commissions are open
Nice.
at Slug Bunnies.
How menacing she is.
God, she looks like a Sith Lord.
Like,
Well,
I
that-
feel like we've talked to her enough that, like, part of me is like, should I interview her? Even though, like, Ezra's mind is like, there's no fucking way we're hiring her. Like,
She comes with Nedra's reference. She's my bestie.
oh, no.
I'm her bestie.
Yeah. Yeah, what happens when Nedra comes up and says, well, I'm not going unless she goes?
Yeah, and then Nedra just comes up and it's just like, guys, I want to talk about war. What's a good war?
Can we like go to one? I want to see. I
Can we
want
go
to
to war? And
What's
then
your
you see Gentle
favorite-
just like scoots in. Can we go to war?
Ooh, are we starting a war?
This just seems like the true chaotic, like much like Grammy, but just more dangerous.
Wake, it's like the sparring we do times thousands and thousands. Why did no one tell me this was an option?
Mainly because of that reaction. Thank you so much. Slug Bunnies. Sorry, I scrolled back down to the one that I believe is next. Because next up, got more Gentle. This
Hey!
time by Marvel Poison. Marvel Poison's Gentle looking a lot less terrifying.
Sassy,
But she's still got those dark eyes. Those mirror black, soulless, beady eyes.
those crossed arms, I think, tell a story.
Either way,
I
continue
killed a
up.
man with this finger.
Yeah, keep up the awesome work, Marvel Poison. Marvel Poison, who also did a little artwork for me for my other D&D adventures. He made the
Nice.
logo for a tavern for me.
Nice.
And it is absolutely lovely and adorable. Next up, by Jacko Kyle.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Got some Onslow Green.
Dude, if you could somehow get this to rig in Elder Scrolls, I'll super fucking play it on stream.
It's good looking stuff. That boy's got that big old gun. Got that
I
cigar
know
in
a
his mouth.
blunderbuss mod. I know a blunderbuss mod, my dude.
He is having a good time. Thank you so much, Jacko Kyle. Next up, and I believe last, by System Recoded, another great look at Woe.
Yeah,
I can't wait to use her in the future.
Oh, man,
she's
I'm
got
instinctively trying to tap 3 black and 1 blue mana. I don't know what this is.
She's got a great, you got a great look at that scarring on the eye there. Amazing work as always, System Recoded. Thank you so much for the amazing artwork. And as for the rest of you guys, thank you so much for joining us here. It's been wonderful having you, Wonders, and we'll see you guys next time at the table.